What's up, everybody? What's going on? Happy Thursday night. Happy day after New Comic Book Day. What's up, the people in the chat? We got Jay Lucian. We got Geekeasy typing in the chat again. We have Stug. What's up? And I saw that Zach was over on Twitter talking to Dominic, but instead of being here, he'd rather just go on Twitter. I don't know what's going on, but
probably on his way home.
Hopefully. If he's tweeting during Bible study, it could be a problem. But yeah, what's up, everybody? What's up, Cheeseburger and Comics? Hello. Great week for comic books. I spent more money than I was hoping to, but you know, it's worth it because every book I bought this week was good. That rarely happens for me because I usually get at least one or two duds. But it turned out to be really cool. And then I had to go back for a book because, from recommend and then reading online, and so I picked it up, and then I ended up with a short box of back issues. 50-cent bins, man, love them.
So you really should be thanking me because
you should see what I got for 50 cents a piece when you're gonna drop it because I don't know how long the full run is, but it felt like a full run for early 2000s DC of a specific
or
group.
Better yet, you should thank a certain creator. Because if he didn't do a good book for me to recommend,
well, I'll just say this: the full run from DC almost got is a Peter David run.
Supergirl.
I'm not going to say what it is.
That's his only long run at DC. Because you wouldn't know Fallen Angel if it or Young Justice could be one of the two.
Yeah, but picked up Godzilla versus X-Men. How was that? I read the Spider-Man one and it was all right. You know, but and Stug saying I read the new Supergirl comic. You know what? So did I. And he says he liked it. You know what? I think a lot of people are gonna like that issue. It was a shocker comparing. I guess like if you look at the creative team, it didn't look like it was that gonna be that much of a a dream team. But
it's the same person that turned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into a allegory for whatever Jenica was supposed to represent.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm first issue, great. Second issue, still holding my breath, man. I don't know. But anyway, who wants to go first? Showing off their books tonight.
How about you? You want to go first?
I want to go first. All right, get everybody.
Host always goes first.
Oh, okay. Gives you time to read your books. All right, I got 13 new books.
I would if I knew how to read.
That would help.
Do you just buy them from the cover right there?
I'm military, man. Who knows? You know we don't know how to read.
Just do what they tell you.
Yeah.
Testify. All right. Back issue for this week. Only back issue, or at least for the new stuff came out. For $7. Got Batman: The Legend of the Dark Knight special. I gotta tell you, I read this. This is great. The Scarecrow story.
The squirrel? Is that the squirrel version or the non-squirrel version?
It's not a foil.
Okay. I
don't buy foil. Foil's a cheap gimmick. I'd rather get the Vinticker ones. Those are awesome. But yeah, the awesome story. So glad I read it. I just love this. Also, once again, we're in rain again with Batman. This seems to be a common theme back then. A lot of cool stuff. I think this actually the art on this for Tim Sale is a lot, at least for Batman. He's gotten better. I'm not sure how much later this was after the original Long Halloween, but you know, basically Batman or Bruce Wayne meets a girl at a party and he gets intrigued by her. Named Jillian, something. Is it Jillian? Not Madison. I think. But and she keeps popping up when he's going to go to bed. She keeps showing up. She did it twice, and then Alfred caught her in the study, and she's lying about waiting for Bruce. And yeah. Basically Bruce is intrigued by her, almost wants to give up the cowl and being Batman and just to have a normal life to go be whisked away with her. And I'm thinking, like, is this gonna be a Poison Ivy stuff? But Batman's also been up for 3 days hunting the Scarecrow who broke free. Batman actually apprehends him in the beginning. The Scarecrow's like, "Oh, I got new fear gas," and Batman just punched him in the face, like, "Shut up!" Like right here, he's like, "Oh, I got new fear gas!" Ha ha ha! He's just like, he just punched him in the face, tells him, throws him into and then what happens? Not even like a page or two later, like the Scarecrow ends up like breaking free at the paddy wagon before he even gets to like the prison or Arkham. So he's like, oh shit, now I have to go. I can't go to bed now because they got this random woman who's intriguing me, wants to keep me up. He spends a day with her. They go on a carriage ride and all this stuff. She gets mugged, and she's like, "Don't, Bruce, let them know it's just money. Who cares about it?" And I said I won't spoil for the end of it though, but I'll just say that this woman, she's the main focal point of the story. It's where Scarecrow is just kind of like the ongoing problem, and in fact he's lacking 3 days sleep. But yeah, I've been liking this for what it is. Really good story. Recommend it. If you have the original facsimile or the original issue, that's cool. But yeah, this was actually done pretty well. It's a thick book. I think it's 80 pages. They say it was. I don't think it says in here in the beginning. The other thing cool about this is Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. That was actually in here, listed in the credits. Normally, they don't say that, but so.
They do on all of them now. Anything listed does now.
Yeah. So this.
And I think they should pretty much drop the Bob Kane thing because he hardly created Jack.
Well, he created Batman the same way Rob Liefeld created Deadpool.
Seems like other people Jack Kirby created characters.
No, I mean no. Jack Kirby followed up. Liefeld just did like the bare bones on Deadpool. Then other writers fleshed him out.
Right.
Finger and Jerry Robinson did that for Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, Finger did Batman, but all the other people did everything else. They came up with Robin, the Batcave,
Well, I know, but without the original idea, even though he lifted it from other things. I mean, I'm no fan of how Bob Kane treated people over the years.
Oh yeah,
but he at least did come up with what became Batman.
Yeah.
Wait a second, I just got a ban
I've got a couple of things to discuss about this, but we can do this after we get done with the stuff. Like comparisons to how some people say that Stanley did the same thing that Kirby did. Not Kirby, but Kane. But we'll do that after.
Yeah.
No, I don't participate in Stan versus Jack arguments because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter now.
Bob. You mean Bob Kane? And,
but yeah, I'll take Stan over Bob all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say that Stan did the same thing to Bob Kane. I mean, did the same thing to Kirby that Kane did to Finger. But I just want to know your opinion on that. We'll do that. Like I said, we'll do that later afterward. But
not even close comparison.
No.
All right, sorry, Van. Go ahead.
That's okay. Number 12, Silver Ox, and I got stuck with the Jaylee cover. I was like, no. But continuing from the list of last week's issue, because I guess the other one was delayed and they pushed this one out early or whatever. But the surviving member makes it back to the Silverhawk nest, and the two brother and sister cops who are there or who were injured by Whirlwind or whatever the guy's name was. Her brother's badly injured, and they're twins. They can feel each other's pain, kind of like things. So if he's in pain, she can feel the pain. And there's nothing they can really do for him unless they turn him into a Silverhawk. And she's like, if you're going to do it for him, you got to do it for me because, we're inseparable. And there's also the random kid there who was kind of like an orphan who actually wants to join the team. But they're like, no, you're too young. So he discovers that there's the other two original recruits, the new recruits already, and decides to, without everybody's help, because he's a computer whiz, turn himself into one of them by hacking the computers, giving himself. So it's just the creation and the formation of the whole new, brand new team. We get some old villains from the show that pop up here. Yes Man and Buzzsaw. These two little aliens were pretty much who are basically were smuggling the squid that belongs to Monstar. I guess it's his name's Skyrunner. Uses for transportation. The new Silverhawk team shows up to battle them, and as I said, it was actually a really exciting issue. At the end, the villains get basically defeated, but the two ones that are smuggling against Monster let them know, like, and it's like, hey, there's a reckoning coming, and it's like, it's like, it's been half a millennium in the making. People are going to die, and when dust settles, Limbo will no longer exist. They don't care a crap about Monster, who released, they've been planning this 100-year, like revenge plan. But they walk away. All that. Ed Brisson is on the story on this. It's actually really, really fun. I was about to drop this book last week. Okay, over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, and just you're clunking your headset or something. What are we doing? Like echolocation.
The chair needs oil or something.
It wasn't the chair. It was your microphone was shaking.
No, microphone's on. It's stable. It's not moving.
Zach!
It's a little loose, but
see, that's what we're hearing is a underwater. Anyway, alrighty. Should be number 11, right? Yeah. Number 11 is Green Hornet and Miss Fury. Or Furry, whatever you call her. Wraps up the series, leaves it over open-ended for another interesting Green Hornet series. Green Hornet goes against Silver Streak, and pretty much, and he's like, his mentor is basically like, you guys are I'd raised you, to be better heroes, but instead you're just, yes men for the government. You should be killing criminals. He's pretty much like a Punisher type. The guy is so obsessed with justice, he murders the criminals. At the end, Green Hornet is pretty much the one girl, Miss Fury, actually kicks the Nazi girl off the building, or she gets shot and she falls down onto a basically she's pretty much dead. She fell to her death onto a squad car, where the Nazis, the Fourth Reich Nazis, were posing as cops, are now under arrest. Green Hornets and then this blimp that's about to basically crash into the Sentinel building where he works, his newspaper building, and there's and the blimp's got explosives on them, and they get the big, basically like a slobber knocker, and the two fight only for the Brit to get the other hand, but the villain ends up escaping, leaving Brit pretty much to save the clock tower, or not clock tower, but his slave, not the clock tower, but save his he has to save everybody, and he basically ends up shooting the explosives, and you see the blimp explode. So they believe that the Green Hornet is dead for now, and Kato and Miss Fury are teaming up, only to find out at the end there's a new guy, or one of the old villains has come back, and they need the Green Hornets, help. But yeah. So it looks like they might be teasing and doing another one. Hopefully they do. I would love to see this series continue. We need more Green Hornets. I feel like Green Hornet's been kind of like pushed to the side, and the fact they're bringing Miss Fury, who was a couple of years ago, was reintroduced with Dynamite, and then Dynamite Lives, and then they had her in what was the other one? Oh, I think Planet Superpowers. But I like this. It's actually a really good book. All right, next book. Number 10. Hey, suck. Big Bad World. Really good book. I went into this not knowing anything about this guy's powers or whatever, but apparently he has his ability to, just touching an object or knowing someone's full name, he can track them wherever they are, and he can like run real fast, and he has super stamina, and he's just a good guy. But he's got some unrequited love for a woman who basically doesn't love him back, and it's kind of hearty for him. But the main story is about his mom. It's an origin story basically for Huck, and his mother, and then there might be more people out there like them. His mother basically had powers, and then I guess other people had powers in the village, but for long as she knows, she didn't have anything. But it's got the same super humor. This guy comes looking, is like, I want to know, where's your son Huck? I need his help to find this lady who saved my life like all these years ago. The guy's infatuated with this woman who saved his life. And meanwhile, she's like, well, Huck's going to helping some sailors that were missing. And he just randomly shows up, hey guys, you want some sandwiches? it's kind of like, so it's got some humor in it. And he just talks about how he was like, I bought this for my girlfriend. Do you think she'll like it at the store? I gotta get back. Like, it's just simple humor like this. I thought it's probably one of my new favorite Mark Millar books. It's like the same light humor as Junkyard Joe in a sense for me. A little bit more comedy, but looking forward to see what happens as far as when they meet if they find the other people are just like him and stuff, and his mom, who they originally thought they're the only ones, but it turns out they're more. All right. Number 9. Pastime. Better than the first issue. Not to say the first issue is bad. I actually think this is improving. It's actually getting better for me. We're learning more about the guy who's a vampire, and after he rescues the blind guy, and they have a kind of an uneasy relationship. We get to learn more about. I think the main guy is Henry, right? Yeah, Henry. He's a really good baseball player back in the 1920s or 1917, but we don't know what happened to him. All we know is that he went and he saw this paper for World War II, American, United States to join Allies in France, which I believe was 19. When was World War I, right?
1910.
14 to 18, and we only came in like from 17 to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is World War I. So he's going to enlist there, and we don't know. All we know is that and that he's a vampire. And the other thing is that I didn't realize he's wearing a mask over which basically was a hole in his eye. It's been burned, so he wears a mask to catch his glasses. Which reminds me of there's another movie out there like that where the guy's disfigured stuff, living with his friend, his wife. And the kid comes over, she screams. So yeah, I thought it was actually kind of cool.
Actually, we entered World War I in 1914. It just took 2 years to get there.
Yeah. So basically, we get to learn how this guy, basically, we saw in the first issue, who came to meet the blind man, how he hurt his leg, playing a night game, and he ends up being replaced by Henry in the baseball game. Yeah, because Henry basically is using his. There's another ability he basically showed in this issue was that he can talk to people telepathically, and that's what he's doing to the main character, who basically hates him and stuff. And he tries to like strike him out. He's like, I may be blind, but they're like, if the guy can't hit the ball, they're gonna make him where he basically not be able to play, but he proved that he can play, even though and he hits the ball every single time. You see his face man come off, and you see the thing because he got hit by the pitch first. So, not sure where this is going, but we're learning more about the character. And at the end, Henry actually helps him replace the light. That because what happened to the other guy, the guy with the mustache, when the ball hit the light, the glass went on and hit him and he tripped and hurt his ankle or something like that. So this guy, his whole job is, I guess he's like the maintenance guy for the team, and he was going to supposed to replace the light, but Henry went up there as a favor for getting him on the team by fixing the light for him. So I look forward to this, and here's a little rookie card. I think it's the same name on there, Harold, Ronnie. That's what it is, Ron Harold. Yeah. So.
By the way, since you just did a baseball book,
yeah.
Last night I can't remember what game it was, but Brad Kozlowski, who's a race car driver, he threw out the first pitch, and they were talking to him about it. He goes, tell me about the pitch. He goes, well, I threw it from the mound. He goes, a lot of guys do it in front of the mound, but I was going to do it, on the mound. He goes, because it was important. And he goes, well, did you get it there? He goes, yeah, I got it there. He goes, it might have been a strike, might have been a ball. Angel Hernandez would have called it a strike.
Yeah, nice. So, 8 is Geiger. Great series. It's really intriguing me now more as we got into the later issues. The beginning was kind of slow for me, and I almost dropped the series, but I'm glad I stayed with it. Gary Frank's art is just awesome on this. Jeff John's storytelling. Well, Ashley is just killing everybody. We get to learn more about what happened to her, more about the doctor, why he's in prison there too. She wants to blow up a nuke, but and we also get Junkyard Joe's in this. Junkyard Joe's his original creator comes in and wants to and actually reprograms him back to being normal. We go, and then we get to see this. He's the president. Is this First Ghost in reference to the Invisible Man?
I don't know.
They don't tell you, but the way he's wrapped up with the glasses makes me think it might be First Ghost.
See, I thought the guy reprogrammed Joe to go back to being like a soulless killing machine.
Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, his creator did.
I'm hoping it did. I'm hoping it. He hasn't done anything yet. I'm hoping it doesn't take.
I'm hoping so too. But yeah, those two are just fighting, and then just going crazy. And then she kind of she chastises. Dude's like, dude, do you not remember all the people you killed? You're such a hypocrite. You're worried about me, what I'm doing. So he's like, I remember everyone I hurt, and she shows all. And I love when Gary Frank draws all the people's faces are in there too. She's going crazy. Junkyard Joe's now got green eyes because he's been reprogrammed. Because she pretty much her plan is basically to launch the nuke, but basically explode it underground so that it vent out, have Tariq absorb all their radiation, including her own, so that she, I guess, could die finally. Take away her stuff, problems. But the nuke's already armed. They can't shut it down, so it's kind of like countdown to the end. It says, yeah, I'm loving these covers though. I love those the advertising. Geiger's heading down for a minute. I love this. So really good series. Number 7. If you're not reading Batman Dark Patterns, you're missing out on probably one of the best ventriloquist stories that I've read in a long time. Not to discredit the other ones, but yeah. We get to learn more about what the ventriloquist and then the fact the reveal about this building that he's he grew up here in this building, so he knows all the secret passageways. He takes Batman through them, and they come across some blood, and the first thing they think is the officer's dead because and he feels he's too late. He goes in the refrigerator. They find his tongue is on ice. Turns out this woman is an apprentice that of his. Basically, felt he well, not an apprentice, but he basically felt sorry for her because her husband was abusing her and stuff, and he heard it the walls. They befriend each other, and this girl turns out she's has a talent just as well as his ventriloquism, and she kind of goes crazy. She it's just like I said, it shows how he basically helped her con her husband into believing that Scarface was real, freaking him out a little bit so she can get control. She wants to basically, because now she realizes that she's losing the battle, and she doesn't want to give up her home. The whole thing is it started because originally people wanted to take away her home, and she didn't want to move. She'd lived there. She made her life there. This was her apartment before she married her husband, and he became abusive and controlled her life. Now she finally has it. She can control her life back. And these people want to burn down her, and so basically take her building. So she says, well, no, they're not going to take her building. So she's going to burn it down like Seth Rollins. Batman using his infrared goggles, going through and looking for the police officer. Turns out the police officer actually was alive. She woke up. We thought she was dead. She coughs up. Batman finds her and takes her out of that, along with I think not. I was gonna think of Wesker. What's his name?
With the original one?
No, it's not. I want to say Albert Wesker. But that's the wrong name. What's the ventriloquist's name?
It is Wesker.
It is Wesker.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's a really cool art in this stuff. I thought it was an interesting story how it ends. You know, basically it's like the forensic guy says we were in scene with Jim says when we talked to the cop, she said her partner helped her escape. She heard her partner's voice, and he's like, "There's no way that could have happened because her partner has been dead the whole entire time. They're in this whole situation in the morgue." So did the lady help the one that burned down the building help the cop escape by telling her where to go? We don't know. But cool ending. Looking forward to these because this is definitely better than the first story with the Wound Man. I am just excited to see where this is going to go, and plus the arts has been great on this too. Definitely one of the top covers so far of the year. It's in the category. Number 6 is Supergirl. I went back for this after reading it online. Yes, I did read books online, but I also purchased the books that I'm reading online. I just like the digital format.
This is genuinely the most surprising thing I've seen today. And it was announced that Shaq is a co-CEO of DC.
So guess what? that was a joke because he actually isn't. He was just there. He's not involved in whatsoever.
I thought it was. I looked up the article. It said it was.
According to Variety, he's not. He was just there to help promote it. So
well, that's disappointing.
Because if he was, I'm like, dude, Shaq, make yourself steel. Let's do it.
For real.
And then we'll introduce your daughter. Yay. So I went back to this mainly because Breen had talked about this. He's like, dude, did you read this book? It's actually really good. And then I was going on League of Comic Geeks. I saw that people were freaking out because, oh my gosh, they're fat shaming. I'm like, what? So I'm like, well, yeah, liberal cries. I'm gonna support the liberal tears falling. Not only that, the art here is what really got me in the interior art. It's actually decent art. We got Crypto hanging around with Supergirl. And we find Streaky, and she's like at the Fortress of Solid. She's like, Streaky, don't you dare knock that Candor bottle off the shelf. And Streaky's like, yeah, whatever. She goes in. She has a daily thing where she does this, or a weekly thing. She puts on a yellow ring of Norcan so she doesn't lose her powers. They even mentioned that in there too. And then she flies in there, Candor, and stops I guess that giant beast they introduced in Rebirth. It's like a werewolf, like a Kryptonian has a werewolf-like problem. And she helps subdue him. And she gets this girl who basically is like, oh my gosh, you're great. And I love that she says, like, the girl's pretty much infatuated, but she says, like, say, Supergirl, you're amazing, way better than Superman. And I love this, what she says, Supergirl says back to her in the writing. It's not a contest, okay? I'm just glad everyone's safe. I'll be back in a minute to help clean up. You know, and then she goes before the council, the city council, whatever, and pleads, or science council, I guess is what they're called, and pleads for them that, hey, we need to do something better for this our friend here. He's like, and that doesn't mean to do this, he should getting more help, and they obviously don't care because they're Democrats. Literally response like, it's like, well, you can watch him if you want to, otherwise we're just gonna lock him up, the rehab. So then while she is saving a plane from falling, she gets a call from her mother in Midvale. It says, hey, your dad got this, I got some time off. We're restoring the house from Midvale. And she's like, come over and visit. And like, Supergirl's like, oh yay, Midvale, the most boring town ever. So she goes into her room, she finds her she's like, hey, my comb, it still works. They change her magically from blonde back to brunette. I always wondered how she did that. I guess that's a Silver Age trope.
No, it was a wig in the Silver Age.
Was it a wig? Okay.
Yeah.
But I still like that, though. She has a magic comb where that it changes her hair temporarily. Probably got from Santana. We'll just say that. Going to Midvale, right away, we get this, like, well, Midvale, home of Supergirl. And it looks totally different because she's got thunder hips. This isn't the Supergirl, And everyone's in there. And so she's noticing, like, why is all this Supergirl stuff? And then she knows that her stuff is on the box. Like, her mom knows better than her basically to throw her stuff out. And right away, we get Lex Luthor's niece, who shows up, Clarissa Giltich. I thought it was kind of cool, and she's like always, she's trying to hide her identity from Supergirl. If you're not familiar with this, you can learn more about her if you read the DC team up book with Scooby Doo and Supergirl. And as she goes in one town, she finds out there's a new Supergirl in town, and this is her. And now this is the page that the people in Lynn Comic Geeks were freaking out because they said, "Oh, look, she's fat." Why? Because she's got
Squirrel Girl from Marvel Rivals.
I know, right? Here's the bunny rabbit from Shazam. So, and this girl uses like these weird like devices to basically make her look like she's an imposter, and the whole town is convinced that she's not the real Supergirl, but the other one is. Even Crypto knows, is by her side. She goes to her home. Really, her parents don't recognize her whatsoever. She goes in there. At the end, she finds out that this poser is posing as her whole life, and she's at the end she's questioning, "Am I even really a Supergirl, or is it an illusion, or what?" Like I said, this was actually a really well written story. There wasn't any preaching in this whatsoever that I noticed.
And that outfit at the end, that just sort of reminded me of Scooby Doo.
Yep,
it's very Daphne.
Yep,
very, very. That's Velma with the glasses, bro.
Yeah, but the dress is it is a combination. It is the best of both worlds.
It's a smart Daphne.
Scooby fans are winning.
So, like I said, it was a really cool issue. I think it was like $5 or $4. A lot better because I was really, and then I went by the creative team. I thought like, oh, okay, this is a girl who's known for or dude or girl, guy, whatever you want to identify as. I don't care. Basically had written some other stuff, other books, and it just felt flat, or it was very preachy. So I'm just glad it wasn't the person who wrote that stupid Hawk Girl book. That could have been horrible.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yep. All right. Number 5 this week. Jeremy Adams, Aquaman. Just awesome. This is what I'm here for. And Jeremy Adams, being a sci-fi geek, proves it in this book. So he does more of this. He brings in a character that I didn't realize was even a DC character. But as they're going through, first of all, it starts off with his family because they did something wrong. The council throws them into the ocean, and they get torn apart by sharks. A small child and a husband and wife, and you're just screaming and stuff. But what's really cool about this is we get fucking Captain Nemo and the Nautilus in this issue. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I think Nemo is a public domain character.
Yeah, it is, but I did not expect to ever see in a DC book that I'd be reading.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
No. So, and I love this look though. I love him undercover. So basically, he's like, I'll just put this towel over my face, but I'll still have the rest of the costume exposed. And he gets involved because Nemo was getting chastised by these villains. Then he realized that they took my ship, and there's not all the town and cities around here basically support Dagon, and he don't like the fact that I can move freely between them. So he imprisoned his ship. We get Titanius, or Titanus. There you go.
God.
Hey, it says it right there.
I read that page 5 times today. Not one time did I put that together. Thank you for ruining that for me.
Yeah. You just hammered your way through it. But honestly, I thought this was really cool. So the villains, because he realized that, oh yeah, and Nemo says, yeah, I know where your wife is. She's in the deepest depths, the prison, reserve. The only way to get there is you really have to piss off like the king. So he's like, well, fuck, let's go get arrested. And I love it because he goes in there, he's like, yeah, he calls the council names. He's like, fuck you, and your king sucks, dick, this basically something doesn't say that, but he says like along the lines. He's just like, just to get himself in more trouble. And then he's like, oh, I didn't tell you. Do you really think that I was being held captive by you? I was faking it. And he just kicks the shit out of Titanus. or tit anus, as Zach liked it.
I didn't like it. Don't put words in my mouth.
Honestly, I thought it was really cool because they have to get to a ship. They go in there, and just as the bad guys are coming, and like basically, so to make sure they wouldn't fall, he destroys the little dome that has all the water, a lot of the water, and so they have to quick close the vault, preventing Lori the mermaid from chasing after them. But I'm like, what's she gonna do? She's gonna get eaten by the giant sharks that are in there for the deep blue sea. At the end, we're shown Mara. At the end. And she's basically being held captive by the first appearance of Lord Dagon. I'm not so I thought it was a really cool issue. All right.
So basically he kicked Tianus's anus in that issue, right?
You always can't just let a joke this lie. You gotta try and add on to it. It's okay. All right.
Yes.
If you call it that, sure. Number 4. Flash Gordon. Fun book. And honestly, what more can I say about this is that her on the cover? Yes. Is it not her on the cover? Yes. Very cool story. Jeremy Adams proves he is just an awesome writer.
Excuse me. If he were an awesome writer, he would have been nominated for an Eisner. He's no Tom King.
Yeah,
very much.
That's because Tom King sucks dick. That's how he got on the list every year. He just gets a mouthful.
You could be right.
Because that's how Mags got on there.
Probably. Look at the art on this. Woo! This is that's right. There's 2 of them.
Can I just say again that an indie comic, the great artist has to miss a few issues, and they replace him with Tom Derenick. Marvel doesn't have very many artists as good as Tom Derenick. Something's wrong with the industry.
Yeah,
I thought this was so this was not Will Conrad.
No.
I figured it wasn't because I went back and forth between this and issue 1. And I was like,
but it's really good. I mean, Derenick's been around forever.
It's all right. It's kind of got.
It's got the cheesecake, and I think it's right.
Who does it remind me of?
This is the better tits and ass. Okay,
it's kind of like Great Value Terry Dodson.
These are better than Terry Dodson. Who's current day Terry Dodson?
No, sir. You forget yourself. Terry Dodson was on the Mount Rushmore cheesecake artist.
Wait, who am I? What?
He's on the Mount Rushmore. What?
Cheesecake artist.
I don't even think he's there.
Him.
We also the evil scientist dude he's like, I'm tired of being in a robot body. It's time to create myself a new body.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. I like the robot,
but I like the sequence though.
Yeah.
The cloning technique. So
there's a difference between being a cheesecake artist and being able to draw beautiful women.
That's fair.
Frank Cho used to be a cheesecake artist. Now he only is for commissions.
Next issue. So, yeah, they're stopped by the prince, I wonder if he even knows that he's been tricked this whole entire time, that it wasn't the real Dale, or is he in on it?
Good question.
Yeah.
I want to know who the fake Dale is.
I guess they said it's like she came through another dimension or portal and took on her form. Her world was dying.
But what? Why?
That's exactly. Yeah. So.
And what does she really look like? Probably looks like Lizzo pre-diet.
She looks like the Crypt Keeper. It's like Shal Hal.
Wow.
It's like
is anybody still watching this? And if so, blink twice or comment.
Yes. After Jeff's comment, I feel like the chat died. So, yeah. Hi, anybody there watching this?
Hey, it died well before mine. The last one was at.
They knew it was coming. That's why they left early in advance.
That was over half an hour ago that someone wrote in the last chat.
So usually how it goes. They wait an hour and come back till I'm done. All right, my number 3 is Dick Tracy, and I'll just say I was right again.
We were right.
Yes, me and
That's
Paul
right.
were
Put
right.
him in his place. Excuse me.
We know. Yeah, I won't reveal who it is, but obviously,
If
it
you're
is-
reading the book, you know who it is.
Oh yeah. But
See, I thought I knew, but then halfway through this, I started to second guess myself.
did you think it was Breathless Mahoney?
No, I didn't. For a moment, yes.
Yeah.
For a moment.
Yeah, just very cool. Just awesome series. This continues to get better with every issue. I really hope they continue with this and just for another 50 more issues.
But
Well, see, the fact that you were pretty sure you knew who it was, and then they made you doubt. That just means just good writing. Because
no, that just means Zach wasn't on the ball.
I did read it before I had my first cup of coffee this morning, so I wasn't fully.
But it's the only reason why I say that Dick Tracy's not my absolute favorite is because of the art. And on that last page,
Oh yeah,
I go, here's the reveal, and I can't tell who. Oh, then I saw how you could tell. It was like, man, it's like if this art, if it had a little better art, it would be, it would definitely be, it's like 1A to Space Ghost 1 right now, and
man, if
If
they
it had
had
Geiger
Chris
art,
Samney doing the art for it, they'd be unstoppable.
if they had who,
Chris
Geiger art.
Samney.
that would, I'd take that.
So here's the other thing. Do you remember the Valentine's Day special?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had a chick posing as a guy. I kind of figured that's what they're going to go for with this because, the ruse was Brett Mahoney. You got the cop over there who has a vendetta against us. She's been marked, but we never saw, does she have a partner? Who marked her? That's what I want to know about this series because I remember she got slashed by somebody. We see because we even saw it too. So it makes me wonder who, when it all comes together. But right now, the Blanks is believed to be dead, or is he? We don't know. We know he's alive, but Dick Tracy doesn't know. I'm not gonna reveal who it is. I'll let him.
They.
Yeah,
He,
they,
them.
them. Yes. All right. Number 2 for this week, though, was Transformers. Dear God.
Robots in disguise.
Zach, did you read this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. 80s awesomeness. Just packed into one issue.
Who let a white guy in the ESPN studio?
He said, guess what? No more
Wait a minute, they have a guy in there? I mean, come on.
Well, after all the illegals were deported, they were left with all those white guys. But we get Megatron versus what's his name? The train guy.
Astro Train.
Astro Train, I think is his name. Astro Train crashes into Megatron. Just those two just fight for combat, and he's mad at Megatron for killing his beloved partner or his female, whatever, his friend, and then he just kicks him, eats him off the skyscraper, falls to his death, and then basically jumps down and crushes his head with his foot. Meanwhile, we get I believe this is a guy from the Energon universe, Free Comic Book Day. This is the guy who helped repair Hound, if I recall. Might be a different guy.
I don't think so. I'd have to go back and check. I did not put that together.
I figured it probably was, because then
You might be right, but I don't.
he said that he's in there. He's in there with Ultra Magna, who they had captured a couple of issues ago. Meanwhile, we have Spike asking about his dad. Where'd he go? Even the Matrix. Like, do you talk to him? He's like, no. He's like, oh. He's like, and Optimus Space talks about how he's like, he's sorry because ever since they come to this world, they've been just causing you just grief. This war should have never came here. Um, and then Spike says, it's like dude, it's like you see that sunset over there? It's like your planet must have a sun, so this is basically just having a sunset. Something like there's got to be a sunrise at some point. Meanwhile, we learn that they're reviving a lot of other Transformers. The Autobots had their own aerial team, and they're all planes. Air Raid, Fireflight, Skydive, and Slingshot are all been revived with the last Energon to help Optimus Prime. So
Top
if you're,
Gun with
I know, right?
Autobots.
If you're a fan of these guys, the Autobots, they're back now. The only thing they should be doing, if they really want to keep doing this as a book, give me all new Transformer toys based on this series. That's what I want. So basically they're on Cybertron. That's where Megatron is, or something like looks like it. I can't tell. Are they on Oh no, never mind. They're on Earth. The remnants where the thing with machine was, and he goes and he finds some stored up energon he had left over, and they brought Starscream with them because Starscream pretty much had betrayed Megatron. He's like, don't worry, Starscream, sit in the chair, you'll be fine. And then he revives him. He's like, oh my gosh, thank you for the second chance, thank you, and he gets his ass kicked by Megatron. He's like, I wanted to beat you at full health, you bitch. Pretty much. And he's just and then he makes hold because Megatron always liked the way he always made the ultimate bitch out of Starscream is by making him hold him as a gun and using him to kill other people. And that's what they do. I think that's the guy they killed. I think that's Astro Train, isn't it?
Astro Train's the one that gets got, yeah.
Yeah, he gets got and gets shot in the head. It's just like, it's just like gnarly. Like there's so much action in this, and then we just have it's like this awesome badass shot of like him. He's like, prepare yourself, Autobots. I'm coming to make myself whole. So, man, and is this Daniel Warren Johnson? When is he off the book? 24. So he's got like 4 more issues.
Supposedly, yes.
Wow, man. Like I hope this is like his season finale or him for him, and then he's just like, and then the rest of the book just flops. That would suck because this is an awesome issue. So much packed in this. But number 1 book of the week is a series. Based from a series that I really love. This is Invincible Battle Beast. This takes place and they're in the middle of the early issues of Invincible after the team was kind of wiped out. Battle Beast comes to fight, basically beats the shit out of them, then leaves to a portal, and never be seen again in the book, the Invincible series. And he comes across these aliens here, destroys the ship, and then he's like, the rest of the issue, he's him talking to the ship's AI, and the ship's AI is going to help him basically like understands. Wait, you just want to murder people until you find somebody who actually kills you? All right, let's go with that. And he's like, but it's like, and what's crazy about this as they're going through, he's just sitting there eating on the rotten corpse flesh of all of the aliens he stole the ship from. And he's like, why? He's like, okay, you want to know why? Sir, surely you must know the long deceased crew will not offer you proper sustenance in their decayed state. Why do you consume that? He's like, why would you prefer to keep a fresher kill? I've devoured far rotten things in my travels. He expected to reach a spaceport by this time, but he says he doesn't know this quadrant well. So he tells a story about on his planet how he was raised from little on to fight, but then he realized he has his unrelenting like hunger for fight combat. So he left his peaceful planet behind so he wouldn't just taint them at all. They find this planet, because let's say at least a really cool arc here from the Ryan Ollie though. Ollie lost splash pages, but Look at this. Look at this art, man. This is just awesome. Ryan Otley.
That is really cool.
Ryan Otley and just doing art teamed up with Robert Kirkman. They come across this guy, and he's like, "Oh, who are you? Oh, thank you for speaking for me." He's like, "Free me, I've been unjustly imprisoned here." And Battle Beast is like, "Dude, I don't care about that." But he released them. Turns out he's this big old dude, this big monster guy. He's like, "You fool! I've been in prison for ages, I know." And he basically he can't die. Every time he cuts a limb off, it grows back. Well, Battle Beast decides to basically solve that problem based by just doing what he does best, ripping his arm off and then cutting him in half. And then as they're leaving, there's this little dude that pops out. He's like, "Oh, please don't leave me here. Take me with you. I'm the prince that was imprisoned by this guy."
Squidward. It's Squidward, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. And some Squidward. No. Takes him with me. He's like, who is that? He's like, "Oh, food for the journey ahead, fresh food." He takes a little guy with him. Now he also has the big giant arm too as well. He just throws in the back. He's the guy's like pleading. He's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna eat me." Like I said, man, this is just an awesome book, man. I love the Invincible series. I'm so excited that we're getting a Robert Kirkman writing Invincible. I don't care if it's a Mark or not, but the fact that they even mentioned Mark and a lot of people here too, it's just nuts, insane. You tell you something about absolute Batman. This is absolute Battle Beast. It's great. That's my it for my new issues. And then this was from last week though. I forgot to show off from Ease Auction I got. So
nice.
Oh,
yeah.
very cool.
So I'll let you guys go with your other books.
Is that an Eisner book? The Spirit from Eisner?
It says Will Eisner on the cover. Yeah, it's 78. Yep, Will Eisner. Spirit. Kitchen Sink Enterprises, $1.50. Nomination number 19. So, but yeah, that's it for the new books for me this week. So,
Jeff, you're up.
Jeffrey.
Alrighty, I've got
Dazzle
11. What was that?
Dazzle us.
I think you said Azalus. Look at that. That's Azalus.
I've got 11. So, I got the squirrel version of this.
How much you pay for that?
$8.99.
My shop charges $10 for those.
Jeez.
So
Any foil is always $10.
Then I just got this one because I wanted to see how this story ended, and I am going to end the series at this point just because.
You get a Tom King book.
No. I am tapping. The Rolk number 4. And
I thought that was only going to be a mini-series anyway.
I don't know. But it is for me. So, and 9 pastime. Actually, I should move this up a little bit, but and then also another book that I'm probably going to stop getting after this is, you mentioned it, you didn't get it, but Absolute Batman number 8, where he fights
Mr. Freeze's son.
Yeah, Freeze's son, and then a bunch of other Freeze people and stuff, and it's just
He fights a Wendigo.
yeah, and it's like no. So the next is a series that was started out really strong, but this story is kind of weak, and I think it's about done. But Batman and Robin. It looks like Damian might be dead, and they're having possibly Damian's going to quit being Robin. He's been reading Thomas Wayne's diary, so he could get to know that grandfather better, and he's been volunteering at the hospital and so he's been having a little shift in attitude, and so he wants to go and work with hospital
that's
stuff. So
that's where we're missing the Batman Diaries new show.
on the CW.
Yep, and the CW.
Yeah, it'll be right up there with what was that last one that they did, Gotham City, whatever it was, that horrible thing.
Gotham City Knights or Gotham Knights.
Yeah, the one with
Yeah,
the Joker's daughter, which was absolutely horrible.
and Batman's son, who is not Damian.
Yes,
It's like what?
which was absolutely horrible. And then next is Supergirl. I just picked that up on a whim, and I really liked it. I don't know much about Supergirl. I mean, I know that there's the Linda Danvers or whatever it was, and so I knew that she had the dark hair and things like that. So I'm not as well versed with the the history of the character that that everybody else is, that Brian is and all that stuff. But I knew that she had that small town and she dark hair and all that stuff. But I liked it, and the ending intrigued me. So I'm going to be picking up a second issue, just because it was a lot better than I thought it would be. And so, but you went over it already. Number 5. Black Ritual Book of Nyx, number 2. Now, Nyx is a character in the Spawn universe. I guess she's a witch, and she was exiled from, I think it's Manhattan, and she's back because people are getting killed, and she's got into the city, and all these people are really pissed off that she's back because they don't want her to be there, but someone had approached her and killed somebody, so she's doing some investigating, and they said, if you help find who's been killing these witches, we'll lift the ban. And it's pretty good. Don't know much about that character, but it's pretty good. Number 4, Geiger. You went over that. Number 3 is Green Lantern Corps, which is number 4. And this is a Guy Gardner issue, where Guy Gardner is stuck training a new recruit. And so he it's pretty much his, the art's kind of good. Got him back in his uniform. Kilowog is, being the drill instructor, and he says, like, nope. They kind of argue over who's going to train this guy. And they have to go to there's a girl who, this young girl with the headband right here, she, I think is that Kyle? I think, yeah. No, that's, who's the Muslim one?
Simon Baz.
That's Baz. He's rebuilding that car piece by piece as a construct, and but she needs some sort of a battery for something, and so they all go. They take the car to try and find this. What type of battery is it? It's anyway, but it's rare. They need to have find it, so they take the car to a dead Starro, which is a place where they have all this like illegal stuff, and hard to find stuff just to get it. And then stuff happens. They run across what is his name? Evil Star. And is this girl here? Is that the daughter, the construct daughter? I mean, sister of.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, so she's there too, and she winds up saving stuff, and one of them is stuck in a mine trap, and so it's not bad. Pretty good art. Number 2, Hawk, Big Bad World, and I picked that up as a blind buy. I knew nothing about it. Really liked it, and we'll be picking up a second one. I mean, not a second one, but a second issue. And number 1, Richard Tracy, number 10. And it was who I thought it was. But it's a really good book. Then I got an order in the mail yesterday from In Stock Trades, which I cannot wait to read. The Softy PS Art Book Softy Tales of Horror number 1 and 2. They're all some.
How much were those on In Stock Trade? If you don't mind me asking.
Came up to $52 total. Like 20 something a piece or something like that. Because these are what is the price in these? It's a $32.99 normal. But there's only like $52, so that would be what, 26 a piece.
Yeah.
And it's bare minimum. It's bare bones because a lot of these things have they usually have like articles at the beginning explaining a bunch of stuff, but this one it goes automatically right into the stories. But this has the old all the old ads in it and everything. And I don't know how they got my picture of me in there without my permission. But
Is that you in your dreams?
Sure. But these are cannot wait to be reading that. But they aren't as good as the EC stuff, but I think they're better than some of the creepy and eerie stuff so far. But I really enjoyed it. And that's it.
Alrighty then. Our boy Zach, are you ready? He said, I'll be right back. So I'm guessing we'll just go with Breen then. We don't know where Zach is.
Probably using a...
We don't know where Breen is.
All right. So, hey, let's just...
It's just like no one wants to be on camera and talk anymore. All right, then.
So are you the key master there, Vinkman?
Nope.
That was on cable last night. So
I'm just the guy with the bear in his apartment.
He's just a dude playing another dude.
Yep, there's a dude playing a dude and a dude. Well, since the boys aren't talking because they're muted and they're stepped away, I think Breen wanted to go watch the Rangers win or cry about it. But I will show off some back issues then while we're waiting for them. Alrighty then. First up, for back issues, a lot of these were half off, so this was 50 cents.
Ooh,
for She-Hulk number 8.
That's a burn one, isn't it?
Yep, that's the only burn She-Hulk there is. So,
well, you're not a Slot fan?
Nope, not unless he's quitting. All right. Also picked up for Batman Prey trade. Doug Mensch.
Nice.
And Paul Galassi, Terry Austin was $24, and it knocked it down to $12. Alrighty then. Got me Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, number 186. I just love the art, and I love the after image stuff, him just jouncing around. Such an awesome issue. So, Superman trailer, like I said, I don't hate it. I just don't want it to turn out to be like, a Batman versus Superman. It seems like the government's mad at Superman for intervening with a war, and it looks like we might have the JLI, fighting against Superman. And then, but I'm more intrigued by the whole kaiju bit. So, like, is the Justice League International in there for like a few minutes? Are they called the Justice League International, or did they? I don't know. Like he's world building, so we don't know. So I'll probably watch it when it hits streaming.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see it in the theater or not.
I'm definitely not watching Fantasy 4 because it looks like crap.
What was that? You said it looks like what looks like crap?
Fantasy 4.
Oh yeah,
Birthday party clown.
There actually is someone here. Wow.
I got a call, right? But I thought Zach was up next. Where'd he go?
Zach got a call or two, I guess, because he said be right back.
No.
So I'm just showing off some back issues. So I took advantage of the 50 cents, and stuff, dollar bins. Picked up some Palmetti, Jonah Hex, because Zach's been pushing that. And I figured best time to get them was when they're really cheap. We got issue 3 featuring Batlash. That's intriguing. We got 4.
I think you may end up liking that series better.
We got 5.
It's pre-PC bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's more grown up than comics were and when the original series was out.
Like a Punisher type.
I guess.
Like Guinness Punisher, kind of like mature.
Yeah, I mean, they yeah.
Yeah, he kills guys and you see it, and stuff. People are just dumb. Yeah, just.
And if I remember correctly, that's some really nice art.
So, I got 8. No wonder Zach likes this. This is what Zach does. Wrestles alligators. I was surprised they brought back El Diablo, Batlash. It's like, what? That's kind of cool. Now that I'm reading that, it's just making me want to read it a little more. Here's number 12. And the fact it looks like they're using Clint Eastwood as the basis for his looks.
Josh Brolin, he's the only Jonah Hex.
Nah. The only Jonah Hex is the 1970s Jonah Hex. And Clint Eastwood would have been perfect for the role. But Clint Eastwood didn't want to do a superhero movie.
Palmiotti and Gray were a good team once upon a time.
I got the full thing of that. Breen, do you want to go, or do you want me to just keep showing off back issues?
No, I keep showing back issues, then I'll go after Zach.
Okay. Whenever Zach gets back. Where is Zach? Oops. Alrighty then. Keep doing that. Starting off with this. Got myself some Brave and Bolds. Got the 6-issue miniseries.
Oh, cool.
It's a really good series.
That's some good art.
It's the series that proved that both Hal and Barry were more interesting posthumously.
Yeah. Look, there's even a straight Scott Allen.
It was a phone call.
I told you. He only does that if he gets a phone call, and yeah, so we read the first issue with me and Trusty did, and along with I think also Puppeteen on this channel. It just said it didn't do so well, so we just never really went back to it. But Mark Waid series, man, and I said Mark Waid's a good writer, shit person, but a good writer.
When he doesn't let his stuff get in the way.
His stuff doesn't get in his way as writing. That's the thing. He doesn't do the virtue signaling crap.
Does Barry Kitson do the art in all 6 issues?
Tom Pirate, Barry Kitson. Let's see, Kitson. Yeah.
Oh, I always liked his art.
Yeah. Said fun series,
a lot
man.
of Legion.
Back with a Game Boy Color, guys. Now it's a Switch. You pay like twice as much for games. Alrighty then. Also, I got 2 more books from my Jonah Hex collection. So, number 37. So
Nice.
Yeah, I was just about to walk the door. He's like, "What are you looking for?" He's like, I was like, "Well, I'm kind of looking for the 70s Jonah Hex. You ever get those in there? Let me know." He's like, "I just got 2 more." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So he's looking up the price. I'm like, don't worry, they're 40 cents each. You don't need to charge me more. But yeah, I got, so here the normal price would be $9. I don't know if that's reasonable, but he is going towards his book Valley. So yeah. All right.
I didn't have a U when I worked at the comic shop, so I couldn't get 9 for Jonah Hex, so I marked them all down.
Oh, well, I didn't pay 9. I paid half on that.
Oh, good. That's about what I was getting for him, like 4 and 5.
Yeah. Because it's half off this whole month of May, so I was happy. Picked up this. I don't know anything about this series.
It was one of those company-wide events. Most of the main titles had an Our Worlds at War special.
But you got some great artists on there, writers.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember. I don't remember the event either, but because I've never read it straight through, since 2000 or whatever that came out.
We also got the Young Justice drafted.
I believe that's a Jay Lee cover.
It kind of looks that way. Look at Superman's face, or Superboy's face.
Yeah, it is. Second look is obvious.
Everything looks like an alien. I told you, everything looks. So, got me some Spy Boy, Young Justice. Picked it up because it looked interesting, the art and stuff.
As a fun series.
Yeah. So I managed to get that, and then I got 2, and these are wraparound covers apparently. And then here is 3.
I think that's it, right? It's just 3 issues.
It doesn't say 3 of 3 or anything like that, so I don't know. It just says 3 in the back. So I have no idea. I have no idea who the Bubblegum Princess is, but I was like, dang,
yeah, she's from Spy Boy.
Okay.
And I think I might have kept that.
Yeah. And they got me some Chuck Dixon. What's finest 3? Carol Castle, Tom Grummett, Scott Hanna.
Well, we know Tim's not interested.
No, because he's too busy getting this crap off of him. So I got this. I guess there's 2 of 2, or
I think so.
Yeah, I think there's only 2.
I know I only have 1 of them.
This is book 1 and book 2. So I have no idea if there's more than that. But I was just like, dude, these are like $1 issues, bro. I got it for 50 cents. Here's one. Jill A. World Without Grown-Ups. So I don't know any of the people on the team there. It says Dezago, Macon, Ramos. Probably Humberto. McKenna Foucher with J. Wright. J.W. Wright.
I recognize a couple of the names on there.
Yeah. Neary is one of them.
Paul Neary.
Yeah. Here's the other issue. 2 of 2. So
yeah, if this guy were smart, he would extend the half off sale in his dollar boxes past May. Yeah. Because it's getting to the point now where you pretty much have to mark this shit down to 50 cents.
Well, for him, right now he's not getting all his new books in. So, what's up? We're watching over on Twitch. We have the On-Road D-Bag. Check out. He streams over on Twitch there. He's a variety streamer. He does delivering a lot of different video games. Cool guy. So go over there and give him a follow. Right. Then we got some World Without. Part 2 of 5. I couldn't find the first one. Then we have Altered States, Part 3. And then the reason I got it because I found an issue 99 of Superboy that I needed. And I realized it was part of a series, so I figured I might as well just grab the other ones.
Yeah, Jackson. Jeff went. We're waiting on Zach to get off his phone call.
Jackson, why do you complain if you're just going to watch regardless?
And of course, Zach could be like, what's the name of that band, and screen his phone calls. But
I don't know, Sean.
But yeah.
All right, then we get into. Remember, it was one of those 2 books. Oh, I got Young Justice. For one. 50 cents.
Wait a minute. Hold that one up again. Okay. 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 There's the name. Okay.
Todd
Wow,
Knopf
cool.
here, David.
So it's the Young Justice series you cleaned up on, I guess.
Yep.
I'm guessing so.
Also, look at that. Buffy with the milk mustache back in the day. All right. And then we got someone just give away their whole entire series, man. 3. Then we got 4. Now ended with girl power. 5. Yeah. We got 6 here. D-Bag, I'm doing all right. It's a lot better, and all the storms are gone, and nothing's damaged outside. Freaking hail! If it was the size of like a nickel, but man, when it comes out at like 50 miles per hour, it sounds like rocks hitting everything. It's horrible.
So yeah, if you'll notice, Wonder Girl gets progressively prettier as the series goes on.
I noticed that too.
Because John Byrne created her, and she was basically a boy.
Yep. Yeah. Looks like the boxes are closing in, RDB. Maybe. I think I got pretty much. I'm sure how many there is, but I got it.
It lasts 50 issues.
I don't think I got the 50. But 12. But
Would have lasted longer, but they ended up using them in Jeff Johns' Teen Titans.
Supergirl. So, I'm guessing that's not Matrix. This point, that's not Matrix Supergirl.
Because Peter David was writing Supergirl at the same time.
Yeah. I think that's not Lobo, someone else. But number 15. This is cool issue right here. Number 16. All right. Then we have issue 17. So I'm just glad that because I saw these, I'll go great. Like, why are they only 50 cents? I'm like, please don't smell like ass. Because sometimes you get them, they just smell horrible.
No, it's just the reality of today's market.
Yeah.
Great for readers. I mean, they'll never have any value, but I said for just get them to read, it's really good right now.
Little Lobo, it's a little frag minion. Then we have a bunch of other ones here. CM Captain Marvel 3, Lagoon Boy, Beast Boy, Flamebird,
Beast Boy,
Cyborg. All right.
Raven.
We got number 22. Raven. Number 23. And then here's Cassie over on the right side. 24.
Yeah, I don't think I could pass up a run for 50 cents each.
That's the reason I got it, because I was like,
I really did like that series.
If it had been like scattered, I probably wouldn't have got it, but they're pretty much almost complete run. 25. 26. We got 27. Strange Sports Stories. Here's 28. Oh, there's their neighborhood. DV, I like that Keith Pullard Amazing Spider-Man book. That was my favorite back issue that you got. But the old Jonah Hexes were cool as well. dude, that Spider-Man issue, I got it because I liked the cover art and the detail, but like what really cool was the after image technique, him just motion lens going from building and jumping. I don't really see that often anymore. It's one of the reasons I just like, oh, so cool. So I'm thinking I may have got the full entire thing. Now I'm looking at these issues. So put some of these away. Alrighty. Oops. And what else we got here? Alrighty. Get back in there. Almost done, Brian. Then it'll be your turn. Because I don't think Zach's come back.
Not anytime soon, it looks like.
29. With the Forever People. Road Rage Against the Machine. Dumb.
Clever.
And then Secret versus Spoiler. So that's a new character, and I don't remember. A Sands girl? Like a Sandman girl? Sand girl?
Secret, her first appearance, that's actually first appearance of Young Justice. I think we're in that Secret issue that he's always auctioning off.
Yeah.
I can't really remember that much about the character now.
But it looks like she's just made out of like sand and stuff. So
Well, I think she could dissipate. So
that's one power he doesn't have. Number 31. So I think I might actually, maybe the first time I skipped an issue there. No, actually I do have. I did skip an issue. Look at advertising for Epstein Island in the background. Yes. Number 32. The Empress is revealed. In 33. Werewolf. All right, and then we got 34. So I'm probably I just got to buy bag. I've got more boards, so I figured I'll just keep the same bags. There's nothing wrong with the bags at all, but 35. Lex wants you. This is when Lex was running for president, or was president. Can't remember when did Lex become president?
2000.
Yeah, so it's right around there. Yeah, a little bit afterwards. Yeah, because this was October 2001. With 37 with Granny Goodness. Sleepy Time with Granny Goodness. Ugh. This was interesting. I saw this cover. 38. Joker Eyes?
Yeah, Joker's Last Laugh. That series ran through a bunch of titles.
Yeah. And we go into 30, at least 39. Yep. So, like I said, I think it cost me somewhere around $60 just for the Young Justice. Somewhere around there. I had some other stuff too, so. And that was 40, right? Yeah. 41. Hey, it's the Ray. Is he gay in this? We don't know.
No.
Oh, now I know. Spoiler.
No, she's not gay either in that.
Hey, look, the Spectre. 42. The fact this is all Todd Knock, too. So, if you don't know who Todd is, Todd did a lot of the art on the Teen Titans Go books we're reading on the channel on Monday nights. Dear Daddy, why do people hate me? Well, young Tom, because you write everything ready having mommy issues. Get over it. Freaking Tom King has mommy issues. Did you know that he used to work for the CIA?
Yeah.
He's probably a desk boy. He's probably at the front office answering phone calls.
Usually, people who actually did the real work in the CIA don't mention it. So,
Well, that's the thing. It's like, did he really? Because anybody ever prove they worked at the CIA, or is it stolen valor? Like saying you did, but you never really
No,
did.
I'm sure he did, but he probably was a desk jockey.
He's probably like one of the ones who are out there now that Trump just got rid of because like what was that? You all have over the weekend tell me what you're working on and what you're gonna solve it and stuff. And they didn't respond, so they got let go. But here you go. Follow the leader. 47. Here is 48. $49. There we go. 50. Yeah. 50 cents a piece, man. Yeah.
Look at Cassie on the cover of that one.
Yeah, I know. Look at that.
And then compared to number one.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Then we have, I guess this is 51 right here. See what it'll.
I don't know, 50.
Yeah. 52.
I'll be darned.
Like I said, these are 50 cents a piece. 53. So. And then we get 54. Dark Side. Then the final issue I have for back issues tonight is Young Justice issue 55.
Yeah, and that is the last one. So I forgot that it went 5 issues longer than that.
The fact that this is we're 50 cents a piece and I got every single issue is awesome.
There's a Young Justice 1 million. And I don't think there are any Young Justice pluses. So yeah, that's the only thing you still need is the 1 million. If you didn't get that one.
No, I don't think I had the 1 million, but sounds about right. All right, and we'll go back to this week's issues with Breen.
All right.
What are your issues this week, Breen? What's hurting?
Surprisingly, nothing. Okay. Picked up the Fantastic Four facsimile of number 5.
And at the end, you just turn the camera if we need the Coco update.
Yeah, I'm just sleeping like a log. Number 12, Pastime. It's good. I'm still waiting for something to knock me out about this, but maybe next issue.
Graduation Day was the Teen Titans series event.
Number 11, Green Lantern Corps.
I passed on that.
It was decent, but I don't like. Apparently they're defaulting back to writing Guy like a buffoon, and I don't like that.
You mean back when he was with Keith Giffen?
No. That was he was an asshole in that, but now he's just like I don't know. It's sort of like when modern writers don't understand Peter Parker, so they make him a sad sack loser.
Well, that's the thing. Peter David, or not Peter David, but Jeremy Adams wasn't writing him like that. Jeremy Adams was
I know Morgan, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And Jessica came off as a little bit of a girl boss. Yeah, I think she'd be more deferential to someone who's been in the Corps as long as Guy, but yeah, what do I know? Number 10, Absolute Batman. It's fun, but yeah, I said as far as like looking for anything deep, you're not gonna find it there. Number 9, Batman and Robin. I bought this because of the cover. This cover is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, Damian's missing. Batman's turning over every rock trying to find him, and it ended with I guess the person that has him Yeah. I need to read that again. But if I pay more attention, I probably would have retained more. Huck. That's the first time I don't know if he was in that big crossover, but if he was, I didn't notice.
In the big game he was.
He was?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Since I didn't know who he was, I guess I didn't notice. This was fun. What I'm hoping is the girl he was in love with, that her ex came back and she decided to go give him another shot because he's the father of her son.
She's abusive.
I hope he turns out to be a shit again, and I hope she tries to get back with Huck, and Huck says, "Nah, later days."
Yeah. So Huck was, and remember Big Game? He was had the little polar bear in his hand, and they blew up the bomb. That was his moment in Big Game because he was being killed by Nemesis.
Dark Patterns. But so we talked at length about that. You know, it is a very good book. This is where I'm at number 6. Geiger. Again, we talked about that. Number 5, Supergirl. What I liked, it was the references from the Silver and Bronze Age. Obviously, Sophie Campbell did their research. What I didn't like was it, and this is just the way it is at DC now, leaning 100% into, Superman is, like I said, Clark Kent is just a mask for Superman.
I hate that.
So do I. Everything's
that the Kill Bill line. It's awful.
But this, like I said, the first issue was really interesting. Every issue, I mean, this is going to be on the clock every issue because it could very easily, like I said, the minute she starts dating a chick, I'm out. If that happens, there's all kinds of things. Because I said that, I will give DC credit. This is the first book that I know of that's got an all trans creative team.
That's what I heard. That's why I'm kind of surprised both you and Venkman got it.
Well,
he word of mouth. He said it was good. I read it online and I was shocked.
I saw the preview pages. The art doesn't do anything for me. If y'all like it, that's great.
Well,
it's very like Supergirl being Supergirl, like a young. I guess they de-aged her, right?
I don't know if they've de-aged her, but that just not having her
drawn
look like a warrior bitch. Yeah. Like I said, this is the best Supergirl I've read since Peter David was doing the book. I was not a big fan of the Jeff Loeb, Michael Turner thing, other than her costume. And I just, New 52, I don't care that she's a Red Lantern. I don't like the whole idea that she's more powerful than Superman. All that kind of crap.
New 52 was just her being angry, rebellious.
Yeah, this is Supergirl, and I like that.
And I didn't know it was an all trans one, but I don't think it would have mattered.
I knew the writer was. I didn't know.
Tamara Bonvillain, the colorist.
Oh well, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I remember I always make Venkman show a picture of him so I can go, dude, put a little effort into it.
Look at League of Comic Geeks. That's how you know who's writing this stuff.
But I said each issue is going to be on the clock because I don't trust Sophie Campbell. I like this issue. I hope I like the next one. But, I said it's just unlike number 4, I know I'm going to like the next issue of Aquaman. I mean, this guy, I said, whoever said this could just as easily be Absolute Aquaman, because he is a badass in this, and I like it.
He really is.
Number 3, Exquisite Corpses. Latest from James Tynion, and I will give him credit for his restraint. He made it 20 issues before he had his first panel with 2 dudes making out. So good on you, James. But this is the 13 richest families that actually run everything. Every 5 years, they meet in a small town. They each have their own, hired killer. and they basically have a battle royal type thing, and whoever survives gets untold riches, gets their life back if they need it. You know, the family, everybody's taken care of, and this issue introduces them all in the small town where they are. And I don't know how many issues it's going to be, but I liked it. And unfortunately, James Tynan's solo stuff kind of starts strong. I don't, kind of question the staying power, because I was reading Nice House on the Lake and I just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
I started reading Something Is Killing the Children, but kind of lost interest.
I didn't know that book was actually it felt oversized.
It was like 60-something pages for $5.
Yeah. I almost got it for that reason. I was like, wow, but I thought about it. It's like, oh, what if it's like halfway through? It's just like, oh.
But Jimmy, buddy, I know you're an ally, but for fuck's sake, can you write one book that doesn't have gay characters? Just one. Just see if you can do it. If Magneto can build a ship out of wood, you can do it. Number 2.
Well, so can North Star. Hey.
We talked about that. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. And number 1, Dick Tracy, just excellent. I don't know where they go from here, but both story arcs have been fantastic. So
I'm just glad that wasn't the real deal. It'd be like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That I knew it wasn't, but
but if it'd been the real deal, and this whole time she's been having remember the whole Mockingbird situation.
Well, yeah, it would have definitely been brainwashing. I liked that wasn't where they went with it.
Yeah.
Because I said, maybe someday Jeremy Adams will be a good enough writer to get nominated for an Eisner, but not yet.
So I'm like, I always wondered, like, when people are exclusive, like with like DC and stuff, are they able to go on social media and say they like other books that aren't outside the company? I always wondered about that, because I know Jeremy Adams signed that thing, but I don't know when it starts. Because I asked him the other day, he was talking about some other books, and I asked him, like, hey, have you checked out Battle Beats? But he seemed really very enthusiastic. He wanted to read it, like he really likes the series. So I wonder how long before DC says, like, no, you can't promote other companies. Like, even if you just say you like his book, they'll consider that promotion.
I don't know. I could see that being more of a Marvel thing.
Paul Petty there.
Yeah, because Marvel's owned by the Mouse, and nobody's pettier than the Mouse.
I read today, and I think there might be onto something. Marvel barely seems to get nominated for like Eisner stuff. I mean,
Jed McKay should have been on there.
McKay should have been on there. Hickman was barely on there. He wasn't even on there as a writer, but Ultimate Spider-Man was on there.
There's some article floating around that Hickman said that he agrees that the X-Men his pitch sucked.
He recognized that was a creative failure. I mean, even House of X, Powers of X on its own is good, but then after that,
it wasn't a failure because of him. It was a failure because they kicked him out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
When it became the Burger King Kids Club for the Rainbow Mafia,
when it became the Duggan Show,
it fell apart. Oh no, Jerry Duggan was probably the second best writer on there. That's how bad it was.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right. Any more?
No, that's it.
All right.
Hey, I have a question. Huck, did he seem a little slow? If you understand what I'm getting at.
It was a typed out interview. It wasn't a video. Or at least I didn't see one.
Well, what'd you say, Jeff?
Huck, did he seem a little slow? If you understand what I'm getting at.
No, he's not slow.
No, I mean
upstairs. He's a simpleton. He's a simple small town boy, but he's not slow.
He wants to. He's basically the people that sees the good on everybody. Wants to believe. Right.
Yeah. But it's just, I'm wondering if he was like emotionally stunted.
Well, it could have went a totally different ending. He'd be like, Huck waits on the field. He's just sitting there holding blood in his hands, like he just murdered.
No, if he were like retarded, because I'm not playing word salad anymore. I don't think he would have had anything going with that woman.
Demonetized.
Like one of my best friends is my cousin's brother-in-law. He's autistic, and he is like him. He sees the best in everything, and he's always in just a really great mood, and always just stuff. Yeah. And so that sort of reminded me of that. I'm not, I wasn't criticizing or anything like that. It just,
I just read it as he's just a simple small town boy. That's it.
Just a small town boy.
Small town boy.
I know. Damn you, Journey, get out of my head.
So sorry about my absence. Had some stuff.
It's okay. I went through a whole short box of comic books.
I noticed that. I was like, first it was Jonah Hex, then it was Young Justice. I said, good Lord, how many books did this guy buy?
Young Justice complete series for 50 cents a piece.
That's wild. I almost had I don't know if it was 50 cents, but that's kind of like when I found that almost the whole JSA collection. It was like $1 each or something like that.
Dude, I could.
That's cool though.
I couldn't pass it up. I was like, either $150 for like or compendium or whatever, or I'm sure they have one. But I was like, for 50 cents a piece.
Zach, before you get going, I don't feel like typing this out.
Sure,
Henry, that's very cool. I've got a smaller one in this mess behind me, but if I can ever find like a regular size 24 by 36. I will get a reproduction of that in a heartbeat and find a frame for it. Silver Surfer 4.
Also, Zach, if you didn't pick this up or read this one, this is the facsimile.
Yeah.
Really good series. A little issue. They have 3 different ones, but this is 80 page.
You guys think after 5 years I should tell him I'm not a huge Batman fan?
Then quit getting Absolute Batman.
That's different.
Yeah, because it's not Wait, because it's not Batman.
It's better. No, I'm just kidding. Batman's just not one that I need to read about. I'm weird. I don't care necessarily.
I'm not a Young Justice fan. I've never really been crazy about the team, but I was like 50 cents a piece.
Yeah, but you're also
Young Justice movie. Come on.
You're surrounded by short boxes all around you. I don't have that kind of commitment to surround myself with books that I'm not.
Well, what Zach's saying is, so we figured that after being around us for like 4 or 5 years, that your taste would have improved, and we could have retired the Carlito bit, but apparently we're not quite ready to do that.
Zach's got some books back there. He's got compendiums. He's got
some.
And then the rest is all manga. He's gonna have a one-piece wall.
No, you can't see it. Under the manga, there are some trades. There's a box full of comics
the difference is that I'm buying floppy issues. You're buying trades.
I buy floppies. I have way too many floppies. Hang on. There you go.
Oh yeah. Surrounded by boxes.
You are. I said you are surrounded.
I don't
by
have
boxes.
Dude. It's just my freaking bedroom I'm in. I don't have much room in my house for comic book boxes other than that.
Yeah.
So, and I rotate through them. I know. So.
I don't. I need to. I need to go through mine and.
But right now is the worst time to sell comic books because they're not really buying them.
Put it this way, Zach. Before you make that decision, Vangman just picked up an entire 55 issue series of a great book for $27.50.
Wow.
It is a bad time to sell.
Oh,
unless you've got silver. Yeah, gold, silver.
Oh yeah, no, my shop does. My local shop, they don't look at anything if it's Bronze Age or newer. It's pretty much got to be silver. Maybe a few Bronze Age, like if it's a number 1 or something. But yeah, silver age.
Doesn't like Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer. Why is Zach even on this channel?
I don't hate Batman. I'm just not crazy about Batman. Like I love the Fantastic Four. I love Green Lantern.
No, you are crazy. That's why you don't like Batman.
Huh? What's that?
Said you are crazy. That's why you don't like Batman.
Yes, sure. We can.
But if it's Jonah Hex, he likes it. But only if it's.
I do like Jonah Hex too. Yeah, exactly. See, I like the B and C level characters. I don't love the ones that everybody loves. Maybe it's the hipster in me.
I love Spoiler, and that's it. I don't care about Tim.
Yes, I don't hate Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know her well enough to make a distinction there, but I think she's overrated.
Hey, she's got a song written about her, man.
Oh my gosh! If you
would have want to talk about this, or do we want to talk about
Zach meeting her in her prom? He's like, "Whip me. I've been a bad boy."
That's disgusting.
I know. Who wants to see you doing that?
That's disgusting.
All
right. Speaking of Huck,
disgusting?
I'm actually going to shift the conversation over to comics. Mark Millar, Raphael Albuquerque, Huck #1, Big Bad World #1. Really good. Picking up after... Actually, they don't even reference Big Game in this, which I feel is a missed opportunity. I think they could have... They don't need to, but I think it would have been nice, especially if somebody just got introduced to Huck through that. But this is a good story. He starts off, goes into his mom's background, how his mom gets superpowers. Presumably, that's how he gets them. Is through
You
her.
small, you green.
And Bateman kind of talked about the plot of this a little bit, but it's nice. He's a good-natured, like I said, kind of a simple guy, but that's okay. Not every character needs to be super complex. I like a simple guy like this, and you really feel for the guy by the end of the issue.
He's not simple. He's, like I said, he's just very nice person.
Simple. He's kind of simple.
Huck
might have been homeschooled, and as a homeschooler, I can say that.
The only time we've seen before in Big Game is when he gets blown up.
Yes, saving a polar bear club. Polar bear club.
Well, that was Pepsi taking him out. They don't want the Coke.
All right. Godzilla versus X-Men.
I knew it.
Fabian Nicieza. This is Tony S. Daniel.
But there's no Rogue.
There is no Rogue. My one complaint: there is no Rogue in the book or on this cover. You have Gambit, but no Rogue.
Exactly. It's the Jim Lee 90s one, but there's no Rogue.
But you know what? It's okay because the story is great. The story is really well. So Godzilla's going after a facility in Japan. Sunfire's over there. He calls the X-Men, asks for help. Professor X deals with Henry Gyrich and what's her name? Is it Jade Cooper? Working with the government in Japan. How are the X-Men going to help? And it's not like this. The X-Men don't just decide to go at him like fleas on a dog. It's actually really cool. What happens is
Val Cooper.
Thank you. I don't know where I got Jan.
I was having a brain cramp.
Which is basically
I need to hydrate.
The blue check in disguise.
No, what happens is Gambit breaks into a government warehouse and steals the super android. Or super adaptoid, excuse me. The Avengers super adaptoid that looks like all of them mashed into one. Gambit breaks in, uses some PEM particles on it, shrinks it down, breaks and steals it. And then Professor X mind links each and every one of the X-Men into the super adaptoid. So it's kind of like this Pacific Rim type thing where they're all controlling. The super adaptoid now has all the X-Men powers. And so you see them using optic blasts and Wolverine claws trying to fight Godzilla. Professor X tries to, link their minds together. But what happens is they find out Godzilla's attacking this facility in Japan that's working with Trask Industries. So there's a Sentinel, they call it the Tri-Sentinel. And it's kind of like King Ghidorah, but it's not King Ghidorah. It's 3 different kind of robot heads on one robot. And so then it becomes a giant fight between Godzilla and the super adaptoid and that. It's just really well done. It's an excellent one-shot if you're an X-Men fan. They really harp on. It takes the X-Men back to the whole protecting a world that hates and fears something, which I think has been lost a lot since the Krakoa era. And it's one thing that it's like the thing that has been missing that makes the X-Men great. So this is fantastic. You should definitely check this out. Great one-shot. From that, we go over to Uncanny X-Men, number 14. Gail Simone, David Marquez is back on interiors after what feels like months. And we've kind of got 3 different stories going on here at once. And then they all work. You have the story that kind of is at the start and the end. It's like a time, a flashback to like 1920s New Orleans. This lady, Henrietta, comes down and is presumably going to work for like this underground railroad for mutants, but she gets ambushed by Pinkerton type guys, but they call themselves Sentinels, so maybe they're like a proto Sentinel program or something. Then you flash back to the current day. The students here, they're in this underground cave with Man-Thing. They're trying to get to a chamber. Man-Thing says you need to prove you're a mutant. Tell me what your power is. It's kind of a little reintroduction to the characters. You kind of find out what all their powers are. And then with the adult X-Men, it's really mainly a Gambit story. There's some Rogue in here too. There's a giant dragon that in the very first issue, Gambit kind of wins the Eye of Agamotto from. And so the dragon came back saying that it wanted the eye back. Gambit says, no, I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit. And the dragon's kind of polite. He's like, okay, but if you do, it's going to curse you and you're going to go crazy. And Gambit's like, okay, thanks for the heads up. Well, then Rogue comes out of nowhere, thinking the dragon's trying to eat Gambit, and so Rogue starts fighting a dragon. And the inner dialogue, the little voice boxes, the inner narration of Gambit, Gail Simone nails it perfectly, I think. And so yeah, it's a good issue. I would have liked to see more of the grown up X-Men because they're really the main reason I'm buying this book. I'm not really that attached to the students, but hopefully as time goes on, we'll see some more of them pop up in more like in your face kind of ways. But overall, this is a good issue though. All right, we talked about this. This is Flash Gordon number 9. I am missing Will Conrad. This guy, Tom Derenick, I mean, he's okay. I think Will Conrad's a little bit better. Yeah, the story's been good though. We talked about the Dale impersonator. Is she a Skrull? Is she an evil twin? What is it?
Is she a man or a Muppet?
Is she a man or a Muppet? Yeah, exactly. No, this has been great though. I've been enjoying this. This is some really good pulpy sci-fi, not from the big two, swashbuckling vibes. It's awesome. You should be checking this out if you're not. Also from Mad Cave, Dick Tracy number 10, The Blank Revealed. Really good wrap up, really good finale to this story. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. They tease Dick Tracy as an international spy. So that'll be cool. But yeah, like I was saying, I thought that I had a good idea of who it was. And then halfway through this issue, I was like, oh, am I right? Is it somebody else? But then I get to the issue and my original suspicions were correct, which is not necessarily a fault of Alex Segura. I mean, this is a story that's been done. I mean, a lot of detective stories and crime stories like this have been done before. So, I don't know that there might be any new stories to tell in that regard. But, yeah, the art's not bad. I'm kind of getting used to it, honestly. At first, the first couple of issues, I wasn't super crazy about it. It's kind of rubbing off on me, though. But excellent. This and Flash Gordon are the two best things Mad Cave has coming out right now. So y'all should be paying attention to Mad Cave. We got Absolute Batman number 8. Good story. I will say the lack of Nick Dragotta is kind of hurting it. The replacement artist they had, I'm not too crazy about. He seems very simple. Nick Dragotta's panel work has a lot more like grit and just a whole different feel to it than this guy has. The story was fine. The story was good. The new Victor Freeze locks Bruce Wayne up in this cryo chamber and is going to send him into like cryo sleep. But Bruce breaks out, starts fighting all these like little weak clones. It was pretty good. I'm really looking forward to the next one. By the end of this issue, we find out that his buddy Waylon Jones gets kidnapped by these people who are working for Arkham. And, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where that goes. Like, are all of his childhood friends going to end up becoming the villains that we know? Or, like, what's going to happen with that? So that's going to be interesting. We got Aquaman number 5. Just fantastic stuff. Swashbuckling. Arthur is a king that is not. He punches first, asks questions later. I really liked where he goes into the throne room and he's like, Marauders, come out and play. Like, it was, that kind of cracked me up. But yeah, this has just been fantastic. I'm looking forward for next issue to see Mara come back into the fold. Hopefully that's what happens. But yeah, this is great. This is Jeremy Adams is cooking right.
Anybody notice that both Jeremy Adams, 2 of his books right now, involve the protagonist searching for his lost love?
Yeah. Fact. He must be watching some Princess Bride or something in his off time. I don't know. We got Geiger number 14. I got the We Can Do It cover. They actually gave me this automatically. It was already in my pull box. So this honestly is probably my favorite issue in the run so far. You've got, Geiger versus Radioactive Woman here. You've got some stuff going on. Junkyard Joe, his handler, comes back to get him. We kind of talked about a lot of it already. But Gary Frank's art in this is fantastic. This is one of his best issues, I think. So Geiger is definitely something y'all should be checking out.
You got the nice cover, too.
I did get the nice cover. 2 more to go. We got Transformers here, issue number 20. Megatron is back, and he's whipping all the Decepticons back into line, showing them who's boss, beating up Astro Train, making Starscream better, and then beating him up, then giving him the gun and saying, "Okay, now kill Astro Train." It's just brutal. I love it. It's absolutely great.
The fact
the Autobot stuff, it's good stuff going on. A little bit slower on the Autobot side of things, but that's okay.
What really did for me for this issue is the fact that we were deprived of Megatron for all these issues, and then he finally comes back.
Exactly, but see, it works. I'm glad we did. I'm glad we started out with no Megatron right off the bat.
Megatron is coming back, cleaning house for the last 4 issues of Dan Warren Johnson's run.
And I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to see who takes over for him. Who it's going to be.
I think it might be that girl who worked on Devour.
I didn't read that one.
As Eric pointed out, that Devour is one shot for Hyde Street.
Yeah, I know.
She wrote for an episode of Stargirl.
Well, they didn't say just an episode. She was a writer on Stargirl. Which actually makes me a lot more confident in her going forward.
Interesting. Yeah, because Stargirl is one of the better CW shows. Final issue this week, we've got Green Lantern Corps, issue number 4. This was great. I enjoyed all the little loose ends, all the little story threads in this. The best one is by far Guy Gardner gets saddled with partnering up with this new rookie. It looks like a little Narf kid. He is trying to pawn him off on Kilowog, and Kilowog's like, no, you got to partner with this guy. So he kind of takes him along and is teaching him all the wrong kind of lessons. It's just fun to read, Guy Gardner. And then story B, you've got Simon Baz with the Teen Lantern, who is pointed out is not even a teen. She's barely 12 years old. And so she needs a certain computer part. So he takes her to this dead Starro. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's like a dead biological being that's a space station. And so he takes her there, and they go to this shady black market dealer guy, and he stuns them, tries to steal the little doodad off of Teen Lantern's arm. And by the end of the page, we find out that they might be retconning the Teen Lantern's origins, because Simon Baz finds himself in this mental maze, and John Stewart's sister, the hologram, is kind of helping him navigate it. And they come to this, this scene where the teen girl is in a junkyard trying to, steal some technology. And, the little panel makes it sound like that's not the way it really happened. So maybe they're retconning it. Maybe they're tweaking some things. I don't know.
My question is she an orphan? Because otherwise they are in charge for kidnapping.
Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out, but
at least with as everybody hated the Riri Williams and stuff, but at least her parents were upset the fact that she was not, around,
Yeah. But this so far has been really good. I'm liking both the Green Lantern titles. Over in the proper one, you got Hal and Kyle.
I just want a Guy Gardner book by himself.
You were on the phone, so it's I gave that was real down on my list.
Really?
I don't like the way this clearly is the other guy writing. I mean, Jeremy Adams is just basically giving him an outline. I don't like the way Guy Gardner's being written. It's like they've defaulted back. And what I told him during that, I said, Marvel writers that don't understand Peter Parker default him back to being a sad sack loser. People that don't understand Guy Gardner just make him an abrasive prick.
Yeah.
And, I said, and Keith Giffen and Jim DeMatteis were masters at it, but then they evolved the character through the years. It seems like every so often somebody gets hold of the character that doesn't know the difference between being an abrasive prick and being, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. That if you read the Jeff Johns Green Lantern Corps stuff,
I never read it in its entirety, but I did read a large chunk of it.
Guy was written exceptionally well. His own series, he evolved into a complex character and somebody you could count on. This Guy Gardner is only going to help you if there's something in it for him.
Well,
I don't like that.
The next issue. I mean, I would not be surprised. The next issue, we find Guy Gardner sacrificing himself for this kid that he's partnered with. Who knows?
I thought that I think Jessica Cruz is being just a little bit too snarky all of a sudden, because she was kind of girl bossing Guy.
Just kind of acting
and I'm thinking she might be a little bit more deferential to somebody who'd been in the Corps for that long. But the story itself was fine. But yeah, I said there's just little things in there that, like I said, I've always been a big fan of Guy, and yeah, I did not particularly care for the way he's being written.
Jessica Cruz in the first couple of issues kind of came off like a Sandra Bullock type, just losing her mind slowly.
Well, she's now like one of the higher ups as far as the Green Lantern Corps goes. Like they put her into like this kind of almost ambassador.
Yeah, and how did that happen?
Yeah,
but I don't hate it though. I mean, I'm liking it so far.
So
but then I also liked Guy Gardner when he had a Red Lantern ring too. So I like abrasive Guy. I like the nicer Guy parts of him too, but I really like.
There's a difference between being an abrasive and being an abrasive prick.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. That's where some of the writers can't differentiate. But
so
Jeremy Adams, I'm sure can.
Yeah,
I don't know if Morgan, whatever his name is, can.
The Guy Gardner series on Solo series, something about the Warrior.
Yeah, it became Warrior in issue 17.
Yeah. That one got a little weird because they even did a gender flip for him.
Didn't he turn into a woman for several issues?
For one issue.
For one issue, yeah.
And then they had to do a catwalk and all stuff, just like what the heck is
Guy Gardner and Dr. Fate? There were some gender flips going on.
Well, Dr. Fate was a woman for a while.
Yeah. Guy was changed appearance
to the normie that passes by the comic on the stand and doesn't read it.
But there were some, I said there was some really nice cheesecake in Warrior.
Yeah,
particularly like Aricia and
his girlfriend was dating.
Some of the other chicks in there. Yeah.
So, all right.
That's it. That's all I got, though. I say all I got. Like that's like 12 books. I think it was a big week.
We were all in double digits this week. That might be a first.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's been a while since that's happened.
All righty, though. For those who are watching the chat, if you're still alive, press 1. If you're not, just say help.
They only talk when it's to my detriment. Like they bring up Michelle Pfeiffer, or if I say something that gets taken, then
not true.
Jackson, they take a couple shots at me every once in a while.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Jackson was
wondering while I'm here. Take more shots at Jeff.
Jackson was wondering why I was still showing off books like 90 minutes, and I said because Breen was stepped away for a second. He had a phone call. Zach got a phone call, so I just started showing off my back issues.
And
anyway,
there will be a Game 7, kids.
Oh, my dad will be thrilled.
Yep. Alrighty then. I was just check the private chat. This might be a long phone call.
Yeah, she's driving back up from New Orleans, and I thought she was going to want to talk the whole time she was driving back.
So. What makes you think that? Girls don't do that.
Well, also because I had a certain conversation with her parents today, so she wanted to know how it went. So.
Congrats.
Thank you. Nothing set in stone just yet, but it was a very good conversation.
You're moving on. You're going several ways.
Okay.
Talk to you.
And Henry, you shouldn't be making fun of Izzy, okay?
Yeah.
I actually had this trimmed yesterday, so thank you for not making fun of it, Henry.
Wow.
Yesterday,
Jeff,
made
that was cold.
I'm glad somebody caught it.
Oh, I caught it. I just chose not to respond to it.
Yeah.
Which was a good comeback going to the actual beard.
Yes.
Which does need a trim there, Abe.
I had to get it back to JD Vance levels. It was too much Duck Dynasty.
No, you need to take more off. You need to get down to like Miami Vice levels.
I mean, I could put it back down to Pixel levels. We could do that.
Well, that would just be like a really weird looking mustache.
Yeah, no matter what I do, mine keeps going to the Lemmy look. Motorhead. I
was telling the girl who cuts my hair and trimmed my beard up. she told me her boyfriend was trying to grow one, but he can't fill in on the cheeks, so he just has like a chin strap. And she said nobody should have a chin strap.
You mean like Matt Hardy would for a while?
Maybe.
I personally
shouldn't have had one.
I don't know why you have a beard. I mean, I had one so I could cover my fat chin.
I've got one. It helps cover acne scars.
The only other problem is that you're going to run into Nazak is if you anything has barbecue on it, you got to immediately go wash your face off because.
I watched this. Like I shampoo this.
Annoying.
It helps you store food in case you get hungry in between meals and stuff.
That's disgusting. That's the one thing I don't like about having.
That's what your couch is for.
No, your couch is for comic books. You're supposed to pull them out magically.
Couch is for M&Ms you find later in Skittles and some raisins.
See, Breen knows you have a couch to store a comic book that magically will get brought up in conversation, and you can pull it out from behind your back like a Looney Tune.
No, that's actually
Action Comics number 35. I have one right here.
Actually, that's Zach. He's got an assistant on the side who just goes stuff like, "Here's the book, sir."
Carl. Do that.
It's Carl.
That is not how cats work.
Here's your coffee, there, Major.
Lump is in heaven today.
Oh my god! I thought that Lump was dead.
No, I took my shirt, one of my shirts, and threw it on the couch, and she's been sleeping in the all day now because the scent. Yeah, cats do that. It's
she's not sleeping. She's passed out from the BL.
One slick dude agrees with me, by the way.
Couches are for pocket change. No pockets. You find all stuff in there. You find the remote.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find 4 remotes because you got to keep replacing remote. So
here's something I picked up at Half Price Books.
My sister went to a Half Price Books in Texas, and she will not shut up about it.
Ooh,
it's just like a little like of Superman 201.
That's cool. I have one of those on my wall that's behind me.
I've got a giant one over there of an Iron Man, but I found this, and it's one of those moron magnets.
Work hard,
this moron couldn't get past it without buying it.
I keep looking at that. It's saying rock hard, work hard. Okay. Does it say eat hard?
Eat hard, sleep hard. Grow big, wear glasses if you need them.
Yep. And I had a Superman for a while too. I had the old school Superman, Golden Age one used to be hanging up behind me in the box. I put it away, but now you remind me. Now I gotta go look at Hobby Lobby again. But I'm like, every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I find stuff like I have nowhere to put it.
I actually went into a Dollar General today looking for those Batman playing cards that Easy Comic Reader was talking about.
People are talking about they were a while back that Dollar Generals were having like comic books in there.
I didn't see anything.
Mine never does. Mine's like going in there. It's like going into someone's junk drawer. All the stuff you don't want.
Oh my god! Yeah, what a! I felt like I needed a bath after I left there.
My used bookstore up here, the big one, Tidal Wave, it has a whole long wall of just these, incredible deals. Anytime you see me, you say I got like a trade pickup, stuff like that. It's from there, and it's some great stuff. It's called Tidal Wave. It's locally owned.
Tidal Wave.
TITLE, little play on the word.
Yeah. Tidal Wave.
Yes.
That word is far too comfortable on your lips today.
Titanus? Yeah.
Don't like it. Solicits came out today for 2 of the new Jonathan Hickman Cosmic books. Looks like they're going to be one-shots. One is about Black Panther, and one is about She-Hulk in space. So those both.
Will she be twerking in space?
No, she goes to Sakaar to keep the peace, and apparently, Sakaar is like a gladiator world. So she's going to be gladiatoring it up. She's wearing almost like a Red Sonja-ish outfit, maybe more absolute Wonder Woman, but it's a 2-piece. So She-Hulk looks good. And then Black Panther, it says T'Challa gets blamed for an assassination, So he's got to fight World Breaker Hulk and Amadeus Cho, also in space. So
Yeah, which he would lose if it was real.
maybe. I mean, it's Hickman writing both, so I'm happy.
Yeah,
Stephanie
he's not
Williams
happy
is
right now.
attached to the She-Hulk, though. So
Who's that?
what's that?
Oakland, they're on pace to give up about 68 runs in this game.
Oh no.
Nothing
Sorry.
like watching. Well, the Dodgers have about a $300 million more of a payroll than Oakland, which might be why it's 13-2 in the third already.
Zach, did you mention an Imperial Planet She-Hulk is going to have Stephanie Phillips on it?
Phillips, not Williams. Phillips, but Hickman is still.
That's not better. No, this is the same thing that happened with X-Men. They're farming it out instead of going out and seeing if any actual writers want to take a crack at it. They're doing the pick of Stephanie. There's no good can come from that. She's average on her best day, terrible on her worst.
Jonathan Hickman and Stephanie Phillips, and it has artist Emilio Laso.
Yeah, we'll see. I still am going to give Hickman a shot, and it's a one shot.
Well, yeah, if Hickman writes it, it'll be good. If Stephanie Phillips writes it, it'll be boring.
She's co-writing. This looks like it of that one issue.
And unfortunately, that usually means that the, not her would like it won't be Hickman. He'll be writing it the way Jeremy Adams is writing Green Lantern Corps.
Which I'm enjoying Green Lantern Corps, so
well, you wouldn't be if Stephanie Phillips were writing it.
Let's see. Jeremy Adams is going to be on a Creep Show story coming out. Him and Edward Riso, Rosie Knight, and Oliver Ono. Tales of Suspense and Horror, issue number 1, Creep Show with Jeremy Adams, September. James Tynion is writing The Invisible Man.
Boo.
Is that the next Universal Monsters?
Yep.
Invisible Man is going to be sneaking into the men's locker room, and
no, he won't. Not on this because
Danny Brad Simpson.
But he did fine on Dracula.
Yeah.
This big guy said, I'm sure the Mummy's just some lesbian story already by now.
I haven't read the Mummy.
I quit after one issue.
It's unfortunate the way that went. Oh, did you see? Godzilla is about to have like 3 or 4 new ongoing books. I think over the summertime.
Yeah.
I think Tim Seeley is writing one, I believe.
IW
or Tony Fleeks.
They're gonna have IW or IDW has their own.
IDW, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got like 3 or 4 new series, and 2 of them look really good. I went ahead and pre-ordered 2 of them. There's a proper guy. I think it's Tim Seeley. Whoever's writing Nightwing right now.
Here, was.
And then there's one called Space Godzilla, where it's basically like Space Godzilla up in space, but he's a spaceship, and he's got like this ragtag group of people that are flying him, like
you
astronauts.
Mean Space Godzilla is actually in space? Where else would Space Godzilla be?
There's only one book you should be getting, and that's on June 25th. You should be getting Giant Size Age of Apocalypse, starring Miss Marvel.
I was look. Is that the one by from Jeff Loeb and R.B. Silva? Because those 2 are attached to an Age of Apocalypse.
No. This is your favorite writers.
They're shoehorning Kamala Khan into all the
And guess who's in it?
X-Men stories.
Guess who's writing it? The great team of Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly.
I'm getting tired of those 2. They started out pretty good. I liked them at first, and now I'm just like,
no, you didn't. You just think you did.
Crypto's getting his own book series too?
What's that?
Crypto's getting his own book series.
Doesn't surprise me. Probably is. It's probably.
But guess I was so excited. It's Ryan North.
Maybe he'll write a good dog story.
Jay Lee does the main cover.
Maybe he'll be good for writing a dog story.
Dan Moore does a cover C, but it's a Superman movie variant. What a waste of talent.
Well, the whole thing is the only reason that book is getting printed is because of the movie. Without the movie, there's not enough interest in Crypto. Unfortunately, I like Crypto, but I'm just saying normie appeal. So, by the way, that new trailer looks incredible. I actually got it. It actually got an emotional response out of it.
Incredibly
So
stupid.
You're incredibly stupid.
I watched the new trailer
Though.
I watched that TV
Sorry,
spot
Jeff.
trailer for Nicolas Cage, and sorry, he sounds way too old for that role.
Oh, the one where he's John Madden?
Yeah, and and Spider-Man Noir.
Oh, dude, I'm looking forward to that.
He sounds so old, and I was like, no.
Maybe he's narrating it like back when I was a boy.
I can see that, but if it turns out like, yeah, it's me, I know it's like,
I don't. The way that look, like obviously there's a lot of green screen. It looks very Sin City-ish.
Somebody said that. It's like, why don't they just use Spider-Man Noir and get Rodriguez to do like a Sin City thing?
Yeah, I think it looked really great. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Spider-Man Noir, black, white, and red.
Oh, that would be cool if they did
the blood splat.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. They got that. Fallout comes out, I think, over Christmas or somewhere at the end of the year.
Fallout at the end of the year looks really good.
Yeah.
But I guess in Vegas there was an actor who was in there who passed away recently who won't be able to reprise the role.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, from the voice actor from like the Fallout New Vegas game. She-Hulk Defying Gravity. Yeah, at age 80, still hasn't dropped. No. I want you NHL playoffs. Is anybody fighting though? That's what I know. If there's no one like fist fighting, taking their helmet off and fighting.
I need to get into watching hockey. I keep hearing fun things about it.
And if you're not at a hockey game and someone's spilling beer on you while you're standing up cheering, it's not, you're not at a hockey game.
I don't want beer spilled on me. I actually don't like the
when
smell.
the players have the same amount of teeth as the people in the stands. The beer.
I don't care for that. I'll continue to watch my sports at home if that's the case. That's why I've never been to a live football game because I know, like down here at LSU and stuff, like football games go crazy, and I'd probably go deaf after one, especially if it's like.
You'd probably be attacked for wearing the wrong type of jersey.
You can,
like that Eagles fan.
You can. Listen, we went to a basketball game one time, not a football game, but we went to an LSU basketball game, and they were playing Arkansas. My mom did not think that wearing a red shirt would be that divisive. But when she went to the ladies' room, like at halftime or whatever, she came back. She got so many ugly looks from people. Jackson, you shut your mouth. LSU fans are the best. It's Alabama that are the worst. Get it right. LSU fans are great. We love the game like nobody else.
You both are at the bottom of the United States for a reason.
Geographically has nothing to do with rankings.
You're next to Florida, which is a Florida dick.
And yet everyone loves Florida.
Oh, not everybody.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't think about the Democrats. I should.
No, I'm not talking about that. There are conservatives who are leaving out because it's too expensive.
Well, yes, because everybody is moving there.
And it's always been that way, though. That's the thing.
I don't think not as much as.
And they're also not. And also, no one's doing reconstruction.
And it's also one of the few states that has no sales tax. I mean, no income tax. State income tax.
You did not have nearly enough people moving there as much as you do post-COVID. I think a lot more people started moving there in 2021.
Florida's always been a destination for people to move out of New York and are just like Malibu, Miami. Everyone moves down there.
Yeah, when you get old and retire, but now it's like whole businesses because of COVID and taxes and stuff. So, all right, Louisiana, by the way, we are moving up in education. We used to be 49 or 48. Now we're 37.
No, do you mean Louisiana or LA as in?
He means Louisiana.
Okay.
He's trying to knock on my home state. I got to defend its honor.
Speaking of LA, I just looked. I said they're winning 13-2. Two of their players who make $500 million between them aren't even playing, and they're still beating somebody 13-2.
Wow.
Baseball season is over, folks. It's just a question of who do the Dodgers beat in this year's World Series.
Well, yeah. Who? I mean, as far as the umpires, I still say they need to replace them with pitch cams.
Doesn't change the fact that LA.
I'd be like
$500 million.
I'd be like every time a catcher moves the ball out of frame, I'd be like, review that. Okay, now that person gets a walk. So they stop trying to move the pitch somewhere else to
Well,
frame
they're
it
going
up.
to do that as long as dumbasses behind the plate keep falling for it.
And yeah, it's the problem. They need to get rid of that. They need to have a rule against that.
It's out of control. I agree with you. I don't know what you can do about it, though, honestly.
Fire the umps, put robots in. We have the drone technology. Use it. I mean, because right now these umps they must have their own like little union, so they don't feel like they're threatened at all. To call good, because there actually are good umpires, but a lot of them they're bad and get away with it. So.
Well, the problem is, I said it took the league about 10 years to get rid of Angel Hernandez. There's a guy named CB Buckner who makes Angel Hernandez look like Harry fucking Wendelstadt. Baseball fans would get that reference. But CB has one magic protection. And that would be the color of his skin. He is just, like I said, Angel Hernandez was great compared to CB Buckner.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I mean, a lot of people just don't like baseball because of the umpires anymore.
It has nothing to do with the umpires.
Well, there's a lot of contributing factors. But
yeah, the reason why baseball is actually making a comeback, but baseball is the one sport of the big three that doesn't have any kind of salary cap. Football, like I said, football works so well. Well, gambling drives the bus, but we're a city like Green Bay, who would never be able to compete in baseball because I mean, Milwaukee comes close, but call me when they actually win a World Series. Mm-hmm. But in Pittsburgh, perennially contenders in football, 6 championships in the Super Bowl era. The Pirates haven't won a World Series since '79, and I don't think they've won a playoff series since God, I can't remember. It might be 1979. But in basketball, at least has token salary caps that make it possible for me. Baseball is competitive enough to where every team can have winning seasons in any given year. When you get to the World Series, it's either massive payrolls or teams that jacked up their payroll during that year.
Well, the last time I kind of found baseball really interesting was when they had the steroid seasons.
Oh yeah,
Sosa and McGuire. Because it was like, oh my gosh, it's like these guys are doing better than the Yankees.
I love how the Yankees actually won 4 out of 5 during that time.
Yeah.
But it's funny how they used the steroid era to bring fans back after the strike, and then threw them all under the bus.
Yep.
So I said,
kind of like Vince did. He built everybody up on steroids for his WWF. And then he turned on them and said, no more steroids.
But the McGuire-Sosa chase
was awesome.
just captivated the world. And
yeah.
Because by that time, I'm pretty sure that Cal Ripken's streak had ended. So there was...
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, and then like I said, now they pretend like those guys never existed.
Somebody was asking like your what ifs, like for wrestling, your what ifs, and like what is your number one what if? And a lot of people said like, what if Chris Benoit hadn't done what he did, or Eddie Guerrero had not died? They're talking about if Stone Cold had not broke his neck, and continued wrestling. Somebody said when they brought the Stone Cold days, a lot of people were saying like, if Steve Austin never would have broke his neck in wrestling, there would be no John Cena today. Because
if there hadn't been the curtain call, there wouldn't be a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep. Maybe not, because I mean, there's always room for a handful of people at the top, but Austin definitely could have gone for several more years.
Yep. Because Rock left to go to Hollywood, so they built up John Cena to make him their new number one guy. But
I think Eddie would have been right up there if he'd lived.
Yep. Yeah.
Benoit had plateaued.
Benoit was the point where if he went down to dead, he would have had because he had so much severe brain damage. They said, like he would have been retiring eventually.
Well, I'm just saying, even if he hadn't gotten the brain damage that led to what he did,
Yeah,
a guy like him, okay, Chris Benoit is the kind of guy you want standing behind you in a fight. He definitely there was wrestling needs guys like that, but Eddie Guerrero had
talent.
He just like remember the old Razor Ramon line, oozing machismo.
Yeah,
Well, Guerrero oozed charisma.
He had a Latina heat, man. He had the you lie, you cheat, you steal, and the whole thing gimmick going on.
And I said they're gonna give that to Dom, and he's gonna explode with it.
Yep. And I like about Dom. He stays a character wherever he's at. He's like, he's just telling people, he's like, yeah, my old man took all my money I made from wrestling and gave it to my sister. Like, just keep it up the whole thing. Like they hate each other.
Yeah, I said that was whoever's idea that was. Brilliant. Like I said, that's the smartest out of the box thinking that WWE had done since packaging the Olympic gold medalist, having him play a face but be a heel.
I would not doubt it if it was or be shocked if somebody came on and told me that it actually was Rey Mysterio. His dad came up with the idea, to honor like Eddie and all that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure that. Yeah, I said I'm sure that. I don't know if he came up with the idea, but let's be honest. If they hadn't turned Dominic heel, he'd be long gone because the fans wouldn't have cared because they like Ray for some mysterious reason, but probably because of his diminutive size.
Well, he's
all Dom would have been. All Dom as face was this greasy, skinny kid. But the reason
the reason I like Benoit is the whole thing, his battle between him and Triple H for the title.
Yeah, I said Benoit's a pit bull.
Yep.
That he should have played. If he'd lived, he could have played Wolverine in a movie.
He really could. He was real size Wolverine.
Yeah, he should have been Wolverine.
It's
Canadian.
He's Canadian too.
Yeah.
Go look up Chris Benoit and tell me this guy does not look like he could have been a Wolverine in the MCU.
Well, remember what his nickname was? The Rabid Wolverine.
Rabid Wolverine, yeah. And he came out one time. He had Wolverine tights.
Yeah. So, and it's a shame. What if Pillman had lived?
That's another one. Pillman was just as awesome as Stone Cold was.
Well, they were the Hollywood Blondes.
Yep.
Because Austin went through a lot of gimmicks before he hit on Stone Cold.
And it wasn't until that King of the Ring.
So I was watching JR's channel today. They're talking about WWE buying AAA, and he's like, and JR says honestly, I don't know what the goal is here. Then I guess just to maybe farm some new guys, build up some Latino wrestling. But he's like, I just don't. I don't see the value in it, because those guys are a dime a dozen. You don't need to have all of them, on the payroll.
I saw where JR just got a colon cancer diagnosis. Yeah, that's not good. He's 73 now. He knows he's that old.
Well, he hasn't been. He said he hasn't been on there all the time, and he's up there as he was. I think he's come back just in general, and he doesn't want to do it all the time.
No, he's past retirement age. Hell,
the last time they had that one night to remember with WWE, him and JR, just JR and Jerry Lawler just sat there. They'd cut to them at the Madison Square Garden thing, and they were sleeping.
It's 15-2. So. Yeah, the $700 million man just hit another home run. Imagine that.
Wow, that still blows my mind that they pay people that much. It's like at that point, I'd rather be a baseball player than be a celebrity, because celebrities can burn them real faster than as long as the players don't get hurt, they play and they're smart.
It doesn't matter in baseball. If Ohtani got injured and couldn't play another game, he still gets all $700 million. Football, they just cut you. You're done.
Yeah.
You get your signing bonus. That's why the guaranteed money is so important. because very few people ever play out a contract in football. Basketball and baseball, you get it no matter what.
And if you're famous like Robin Young was, you get your own lemonade. I'm so mad that they don't sell anymore. It was like the only lemonade I liked, and it went on the proceedings went to the Robin Young Foundation for kids and stuff. But anyway, though, we're at the end of this basketball game. We've gone for 2 hours 30 minutes, and it's time to wrap it up. Jackson already left, so do a little ticker up there if you guys do. If you haven't already done so, please click like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Yes, we are monetized now. We're over 1,000, so it's great to see people showing up here. Every one of you watching this gives me 12 more cents.
Just before taxes.
What a bug.
With 4 ways, that means like 1.8 cents a piece, right?
Something like that.
I'm like that guy in that, We Are the Millers. Wait, you get paid?
That's like 300 pesos, man.
So Zach, what are you going to do with yours?
I'm going to go down to Mexico and buy some Spanish comics.
Dude, I wonder if they're really expensive down there. If you can find them, the Gwen Stacy Lives continuation Spider-Man, I would love those.
I'm guessing they're just not there. They're not there to be found because it's or everybody's holding on to, which I can't imagine. But I just want them translated and released in a trade.
Yep.
I'd love to read those stories.
Yep.
And the artist was obsessed with drawing Gwen's butt.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but it's funny. It's almost to the point of concern.
Yep. Guy likes cake. All right. So shout out to Jay Lucian and Cheeseburger and Comics, Stug. We also had Evil Black Cat popped in here for a little bit. So we had let's see, Jackson Roykirk, Henry Jeremek, and anyone else who may have popped in. Oh, One Slick Dude, what's up? He said couches for per pocket change. And that's about it. Those who watched and replay, and those who watched and didn't comment, thank you for being here. We'll be live tomorrow night for 2 more comic book readings at 8 p.m. Eastern is the first one. Hi, MK. You're showing up right as I'm ending this.
Dang, MK.
MK, he didn't get inducted to anything. He just had his lifetime ban lifted. So some other guys that have been dead forever.
Yeah, they banned him. So now he's alive again.
They don't even vote. The group that will decide that don't even vote until 2027.
Jeez.
That's okay. He'll still be dead.
Yeah, at this point, who cares about gambling? Is that all sports are gambling,
Well, I think that's why. Oh God, what the hell's his name? Reggie Bush got his Heisman back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. Yep. I said that's it. It does kind of. It is kind of funny that guys would lose their eligibility for selling their autograph, and now college players are making millions.
Yeah.
I'd still sell it. Screw it.
Well, some did, and now it's fine. But yeah,
you're not allowed to sign your autograph. Okay, I'm just gonna sign this here.
That's what Johnny Manziel got in trouble for.
Yeah, for signing his autograph.
No, for selling it.
For selling it. That's dumb.
Yeah, it was. Well, the
It's
NCAA
like YouTube getting mad at me for having a Ko-Fi link when they don't even pay before monetized. They weren't paying us. They make money off us anyway.
Yeah, well, the joke was, okay, Zach, going to college, and he's great in science. Yeah. So an alumni buys him a microscope.
Oh.
Perfectly fine. Zach, gifted athlete, plays for LSU's basketball team. Someone buys him a burger, he loses his eligibility. How is that fair in any walk of life?
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
First of all, who's buying Zach a burger? Not me.
Now they've
Yo,
corrected the other direction.
unfortunately, I would love to take a burger, but I'm on this keto thing right now, and it's really hard to eat a regular hamburger.
Sounds like some kind of leftist bullshit.
Why you want
to no carbs, all protein?
Why you want to diet?
Sounds like lefty bullshit.
Hey, no, because lefties are like, what's wrong? What is it with America's fascination with beef?
Yeah,
lefties don't understand why conservatives like protein so much.
But if you can't like eat a bunch of potatoes with them, you got to build up your strength for the next protest you're going to. So you got Teslas to key. Come on, man.
Eat out. My potatoes.
So Zach doesn't steal birthday cakes. He steals those vegan like fruit cakes with the Cool Whip and stuff.
I actually did something. You know what? 2 things I have put in my body that I told myself I would never eat or drink.
Zach is a family friendly show. We can't say that.
Almond milk? Shut up. You know what I'm talking about. Almond milk and a gluten-free piece of banana bread.
Ugh. You know, I told you that my
tofu, MK. I draw the line at tofu.
My niece that is pretty much, she has pretty much every leftist trait you can imagine.
Yeah.
Tried to be a vegan. and said, nah. Because she liked to cook too much.
Yeah.
And so she went back to being a carnivore.
Yo, I get to eat like bacon and eggs and chicken every morning for breakfast, beef and sausage all throughout the day. I love it.
Zach, do you ever watch The Ranch?
No.
There's a scene there where Cole, play Ashton Kutcher, he moved back to this guy.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott's like, what the hell is this vegan bullshit in my refrigerator? He's like, he basically, and then you see Cole's in it. You see my almond milk? Yeah, it's in the trash where it belongs.
See, but I'm not vegan though. I'm eating a bunch of meat. It's just I'm not eating.
No, he did. Sam L's character, he was very conservative. He did not like any of that almond milk. He's like, yeah, I got rid of that shit.
Almond milk, it's listen, I used to hate it, and it's not as great as milk, obviously, but it's all right. It does the job. It does what I need it to do. So he said almond milk is for sissies like nuts in your mouth.
You got to go 5 innings to get a win. Dodgers are up 13 runs. Didn't even let the guy go out to pitch the 5th. I don't think he has a win in his career.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he could protect a 13-run lead and probably keep his arm from falling off by throwing one more in.
My question is, where do they get milk out of almonds?
I think they just press it.
Just squeeze it and they squeeze it in this little vice?
I don't think they squeeze it. I think they just press it so much to where it just becomes liquidized. I don't know.
Oh, all right. We're getting to here then, unless somebody else wants to talk about their diets and their milks and their nuts.
I don't know how it even came up. I think I brought it up, so I don't know how I did, but
you said there's 2 things I'm putting in my body I never said I would do.
Yeah, and then you acted like a child.
No, I act like a concerned YouTuber's now monetized. I don't want to get in trouble.
Calm down. You haven't even gotten your first check yet. Calm down.
I never will.
It'll just be 3 pennies taped to an envelope.
Yeah, right, exactly. Then he'll have to pay postage on.
60 cents. Oh, there's one last thing. I'll say this. For those who follow Rob Life on Twitter, apparently somebody asked him about his new his book over he drew. It's like, where's the background? It's like, you forget to fill the background, and he goes like, Rob was upset, got butthurt, and called him a dumb name. And I said, it's like, I was like, oh, my bad. Because I commented, I was like, I was under the impression that Vince Galetta was still working for you. And where's the background for you?
Dude, Liefeld is kind of, I don't know if he's taking
He's salty since this whole Marvel thing.
He's been really salty since that thing. And
I feel like he's reverting back to his original dickish self.
He's not quite at Richard C. Meyer levels of declining, but if he keeps this up, I think he will be. Except he'll be slightly more successful.
Well, he's got very thin skin.
Yeah.
But, I said he's I don't think it's not I don't think he's going out of his way to attack a particular group of people.
Yeah.
I think it feels like anybody comes at him, he comes at them,
They're
Yeah.
mad.
whether
Yes.
it's justified or not.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
mad because somebody said like they don't like the fact that there was no background behind the characters. It was all just blank, negative space.
Yeah, right.
In a panel, it wasn't a cover. It was just a panels where all behind the characters, all white backgrounds. It's like where are they in? Like,
But
Great
he
choice.
is, his, it seems like he gets his work gets criticized more than anybody's.
That's true.
And I think, and I'm not saying it's not justified, but
he's well. I think
he's
he made himself.
just not.
I think he made himself a target by going online and trying to fight back.
No, that's. But I'll still take him over, Mark Waid or the Dread Pirate Mark Brooks, all these other guys that, or Richard C. Meyer, who now creates his own straw men to battle.
That guy.
All those vegan milks are bad for you except coconut milk, says one sick dude.
I think coconut milk is mostly water, actually. Or maybe I'm thinking coconut water.
It's the only one that has milk or water.
Well, not really, because it's still a plant. So
No,
it's
I
not
want
really
coconut
milk.
cake.
Milk
Get Almond Joy.
proper comes from the teat of a mammal.
Go to the store, get Almond Joy.
Oh,
Got nuts.
I miss Almond Joy. It's the best candy bar there is.
Listen to
Mounds is
Geeky.
okay. but-
Listen to Geekeasy. He's an expert about this. Go get yourself some nuts. Like
Henry, I don't think anybody ever liked his art, but I think Rob represented fun in comics.
Yes.
I think he always has. And anybody whose mere existence pisses off the customer base that the comic book industry has been catering to for the last 12 years will always be all right in my book, no matter how petty he gets when he's attacked. So that's...
I saw today, I'd forgotten this, Rob Liefeld, and he did the art on, I think it was the Heroes Reborn Fantastic Four, I think.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I actually liked it a lot. I used to have a trade of it. I loved that the art style of it all, the vibe. I liked it.
why am I not surprised?
Invisible Woman had like a flare gun that she would shoot up and it would do the four in the sky. Dude,
Well, that was a callback to the
was
original.
drawn. That is the book I think that made me a fan of the Thing's appearance. Liefeld could draw the Thing. I know we rip on like his Captain America because he's got like the oversized chest and everything, but his Thing was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Rob Liefeld's thing was
that-
perfect. We heard it here from Zach.
Don't do it, Jeff.
Why would you do that? You just want to make something for a YouTube short. You just want to clip it for a little short that
I don't clip these things. Celeste clips them.
okay.
The last two clips I have on the channel are from Celeste and Bro Goddess.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But anyway, what were we gonna say, Breen?
No, as I said, I was going to point out that we're governing the 40-minute goodbye.
I know we are.
We've mastered that one already. We're at the 2 hour. We're at the 2 hour goodbye.
Only Zach has done the other one. We've rest was a governor. And Zach's done the other one. There's your Zach joke. All right, guys. We'll have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for all being here on the panel, and stay safe and read good comics.
Read your comics. They make you
Read
smile.
your comics or your manga or your Bible
Yeah.
or all three.
All righty then. Later.
Have a good night.